Welcome to the live stream.
Welcome, everybody.
We got a whole group of folks in here tonight.
Good. We got Mr. Ryan Gundy as our special guest tonight.
Hello, everyone.
We usually like to take just a minute and welcome everybody, then we'll start in with our questions. Just acknowledge everybody.
Raj, welcome. Petals and Scales. Scales, welcome.
Cold-blooded Monstars, CSL. Welcome, Pogos. Mary Pythons.
Mary, welcome.
Mary.
Fitz Family Constrictors, J&G Reptiles. Kurt Wood in the house.
Fitz Constrictor says, I love Brian. I love you, Brian.
Car Shay in the house.
Low Life, welcome.
Reptile Feedings, Jose's Exotics, Gypsy Girl, Mason's Morris.
We got all the
everybody.
cool kids.
Yes, awesome. How's everybody doing tonight? Well, you said hi to Mary, so she's waving like crazy now.
She's saying hi to
She's
everybody.
good people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I've seen that logo on the Instagram, I think. The one behind him.
Deadly Trencher Girl, welcome.
Welcome.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you, Brian. I'm not real good on Instagram, so if I have any problems, the first person I hit is Mary. And we can make a little thumbnail, and she does everything. She makes it like professional, so.
Yeah, that's excellent. I can't do any of that. I'm lucky, and I can do it. Write up and send an email.
Well,
yeah,
you get anything done.
Doing the show, yeah, she helped us a lot with all the Instagram stuff.
You just send it to her, and she'll take care of you.
That's good to know.
Yeah, you just send out a tiny post, she'll blow it up for you and send it out to the masses. It was
wow.
Welcome, Handpaid Jackpot.
Handpaid, welcome to the show.
Yeah, she's an awesome person, so for sure. Yeah, we got everybody in here tonight coming in.
I still don't have it all figured out, but I can put little stuff on the post and stuff now. Put some music on it. So
it's hard. It's hard to do that stuff,
Yeah, it's a bunch of gadgets. You just got to figure the right little gadget to click on is the thing. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Get off.
Well, we're gonna ask Brian some questions, and then if anybody has any questions for Brian, well, just put it in the chat. We'll try to, we'll stop every once in a while and get some of your questions, and try to get everything answered for you tonight. So he's here with us for a while tonight, which is awesome. So, and see what we can learn. Welcome, Heather.
Rolling. Got his logo in the back and everything. He's rolling.
Yeah.
Unlike
Looking
you,
good.
what's happening? We got a logo back here. He's got a logo. You, a license plate. What the hell?
Well, it's hot in the reptile room, and it's too much noise going on in there right now. It's nice and quiet out here where I'm at, so this is perfect.
Believe me, that's why I moved.
Exactly.
Hey, Chris, I'm just curious, what kind of animal skin is that behind you?
That's a coyote.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Cool.
It's not a mountain lion. I think that's been one thing you've been trying to find herping forever, ain't it?
I was out. Gosh, I was out this morning with my wife looking too.
Solo butterfly, welcome.
They say they're supposed to be there, but they probably watching you, and you never know it.
Yeah, and where I go, they have mountain lions that are being tracked. They have them with collars on them and the whole bit. And you can go online and see where they've been. They're right where I go. I just don't.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's crazy to be able to go. It's like, holy shit, he's all around right there.
Yeah,
like that would be freaky. That's no shit.
But I just can't find them.
I mean, where we go camping and stuff, there's cougars and all that kind of stuff up there. But right. I don't want to actually see a map of where they're moving around. I'd rather not know exactly.
Yeah, see, I'm just the opposite. I'm that's what I want to see, and that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, just
Solar
come here,
Butterfly,
Washington.
you
Just go
guys
up the
know
mountains.
who I
They're all
am.
over the place.
I'm not quite sure who you are, but you remember my channel, so I'm thinking
check you out.
one
Thank you,
of
Derek.
few people, maybe.
Oh, who, the butterfly?
Yeah.
I was wondering, yeah, because they're blue. I was like, I don't recognize the name, but I was like, wow, they're blue.
Well, you know, they remember my
And
channel,
member. Yeah.
and so it could be. I mean, I don't have a lot of women as members, so it could be, you know, it would be like Patty. Could be Patty. Esther's in here already, so I don't know if that would be her. And then Sherry, you know, I donate her,
Yeah.
Sherry Medcat. So,
How's everybody's seasons going?
Got my first critters in the hot box right now.
Oh, nice.
That's Patty. Welcome, Patty. Nice name.
That was the first my first clutch ever. So I had 6 eggs, but two went bad right away. But the 4 are still looking good and healthy. So I'm just fingers are crossed, and I'm a nervous wreck.
How far are they in? How old are they?
Damn! I got about 40 some days left, I think.
Wow. Okay. How exciting!
Yeah. I got the year off this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I try to forget about them as much as possible, but it kills me, and it makes me so. I'm like 10 times more nervous now if somebody comes over and they're in the room. I kind of stand in front of the incubator, like, yeah, nobody's getting close by here. You're not bumping it. You're not breathing on it. You're not. It's like,
I get it. I totally get it.
It's pretty crazy, but yeah. So, and I got another girl that might go. So it's been in a.
Well,
it's been a long time.
Hopefully that'll happen for you.
Thank you.
That's great.
So Patty changed her name then? That was the
Yep,
culprit?
that was who that was. So I had to narrow down, like I said, you know, I gotta know who my members are, you know, of course, even like my channel. I got more men that watch with men women, so you gotta
There's
you know,
Derek with
them
$2 bangers again.
And where do you guys live? Chris, where do you live?
Washington.
I'm in Sand Springs, Oklahoma, right on the outskirts of Tulsa.
Wow. And Justin, you're where from where?
Washington.
Wow. What part?
Right in the center, right in Yakima.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I'm about like probably 35, 40 minutes away from woods where there's cougars and shit running around all over the place.
Sure.
Bigfoot's up there.
And I got some Sasquatches. Don't be hating. You're either a believer or you're not. There's people that don't believe in Bigfoot and believe in, you know, crazier stuff than that. And it's like, what are you talking about? It was funny because me and the grandkid, when we was up in the mountains, that's what we kept doing. I got some footage of it. I'm not sure if I'll make a video of it, but yeah, we were Sasquatch hunting. She's like, we're looking for Bigfoot. So I'd pull the little stuff off the trees and they call it the Bigfoot hair and stuff. Bigfoot hair. It was funny. So we were all tramping around the woods looking for Bigfoot. It was cool.
And this is your granddaughter?
Yeah, she's 6.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah,
that's great.
I want to do a video, but I don't know. I guess I could just demonetize the video because I do want to make the video, but I don't want to get a copyright strike or something because there's a kid in the video or something. Unmonetized
for that particular video.
I think I will just where I can publicize it. It's funny. She's cute, you know. She's like, there's more Bigfoot hair, you know. She's holding it up and shit. It's funny. So I got her standing on snow and stuff, you know. It's pretty fun.
Is she your only grandchild or?
No, I got 3.
Oh, cool.
Right.
My daughter just had a baby 3 weeks ago.
4 now. 4.
My first.
Jeez, they're popping out everywhere now. Yeah, it'll be half a dozen. It'll be half a dozen here in no time, I'm sure.
You don't look old enough to have grandkids.
I do. Believe it or not.
Well, you start early. Then when your kids are grown, you still got part of your life to do. You know.
Oh, yeah, that makes total sense.
I wish I wasn't told that. Well, just back in time before all the crazy stuff.
It's fun when you got the grandkids over though, you know, because they can, you know, they learn so much. So
yeah,
they keep you moving like a champ, man.
Oh
I
man,
bet. I can't wait.
My kid wants to feed the fish like every 10 minutes. It's like it's funny because I got big koi outside in the swimming pool, so I feed the fish. That's her biggest thing. She wakes up, she wants to feed the fish every morning.
Sure. How cool is that?
And likes to be on the live stream. If he's live streaming, she'll come down just to they'll bring him something just to look.
Oh yeah, and then she'll look over. Yeah, it's funny. She sent Kurtwood a drawing and stuff. It was pretty cool. She got the sticker, so she sent when I sent Kurtwood his coffee card and sticker. She sent him a little card or a little picture. It was cool.
Like yeah. So you actually used to work with birds, right, Ryan?
I've worked with lots of, I shouldn't say lots of different types. I competitively raced pigeons for 25 years, and I'm also a falconer.
How cool is that? How what do you have to go through to get that to be a falconer? Was there special?
You have to find someone that will mentor you. You have to find a sponsor, and that person has to have a certain level of seniority in the falconry community. And then basically you have someone from Fish and Game come to your facility where you have your bird of prey or where you're going to have it. And then they inspect it and approve it or not approve your what they call the mew. And that's the enclosure where you keep your bird of prey, because they want to know that you have a pretty good understanding on how to keep these birds healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
And is there a certain amount of hours you have to work before you can get your card or whatever?
You have to, like I said, you have to be sponsored, and then you have to have your mew inspected, and you also have to pass a written exam.
Oh wow. Yeah,
it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense as far as what you have to know. You have to know the.
Well, yeah, I was just wondering if like the venomous, you have to have like 2,000 hours per species or whatever. I didn't know if it's the same kind of thing or. No,
it's it really comes down to having like a master falconer be your sponsor, and then have your mew inspected by someone from Fish and Wildlife, and then once those boxes are checked, then you can have basically it's a beginner's or an apprentice permit, falconer's permit. So you can't have anything. You can only have at that point a red-tailed hawk or a great horned owl, one of those two. You can't have a peregrine falcon. You can't have a goshawk. You can't have anything like that. You have to have something that there's red-tailed hawks on every telephone pole.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I get. I'm guessing that's why they want that bird to be the one that you try.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. We have them all over around here. Yeah, they're like
I'd want the owl.
Telephone pole all over the place.
Oh yeah, they're just great. The owls are great.
KB, thank you. What's up, man?
Hawks are great. Yeah, it's really an interesting hobby.
KY Constrictors, welcome to the live stream.
Them Paragon Falcons, they're fast, ain't they?
That's the fastest animal on the planet, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they? Yeah, that's
220 miles an hour.
Damn.
So you're saying you were keeping falcons while you were raising pigeons, with knowing that the Paragon Falcon will eat that pigeon.
Well, actually, I've never had a peregrine falcon. I've only had red-tailed hawks. So yeah, I had 100 racing homers, and I had my 2 red-tailed hawks sitting right in front of the loft.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I started when I was about 12 years old for both hobbies. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of fun.
You worked as a vet too, didn't you?
I was a vet tech at an animal hospital where there was a veterinarian that specialized in exotic animals. So I got to work with not only dogs and cats, but I've worked with mountain lions and sheep,
welcome.
African lions and wolves and all sorts of fun stuff.
That's what I did yesterday.
What was that?
Welcome.
Went out and volunteered at a animal sanctuary. Safari. They needed help someone out and donated my time yesterday, and they had some monkeys and stuff. And you couldn't get real close to them, but I got in with the porcupine. That little sucker, he liked to throw his weight around, and then I got the reptiles were also. I pulled out a big 5-foot Asian water monitor. He was just chill, and then got out 2 big 12-foot retics that needed soaking and stuff, because they just didn't have the help. So I went out there and helped them, man. It was cool as hell,
Well, and are you going to make that a common thing or a?
I'm going to try, because knowing that they need the help, and I went out on a Sunday. I wasn't doing nothing. Why not take a day off. I'm not doing nothing and go donate my time to help something else, you know.
Sure.
Because it's all done by donations anyway, you know. So,
right.
So
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, you know, and then they got tigers and bears and stuff. Of course, I couldn't go down there through, you know, that. And they got wolves and foxes and stuff like that too. So, but yeah, it was pretty cool. They got a lot of birds.
The more you volunteer, the closer you'll get.
Yeah.
I ain't no tiger king, even though I'm in Oklahoma. I don't care. I don't need to get in there with them tigers. So.
No, yeah. you gotta draw the line somewhere, right?
Wait,
yeah,
how you doing, man? Yeah.
But,
there's that strike zone limit thing.
But they had an albino possum that was blind. That was crazy. That it was just
wow.
You know how crazy it was. You know, but you know they take good care of their animals, though. You know, I mean that's the thing. You know, I mean it was cool, but they needed help, and so I knew the reptiles. I went in there. You know.
Wow, so the butterflies too.
Birds are crazy. They were very cool. Though.
Banger.
Thank you, Solo Butterfly. But yeah, it was cool just to get the experience and
oh sure.
You know, I figure you know I'm overloaded with rats, and maybe I'll see what they need and I'll donate a bunch of rats to them, you know, to help with some of their stuff since they didn't have a lot of rats. So you know, since I've got tons of them, I'll donate some.
Yeah, if they have a raptor, you know, group there, they would love to have those, you know, those rats or whatever. Yeah.
Well, they were breeding their own, but they didn't have very many, you know, so they were struggling. So I figure, you know, I've already got tons in the freezer, plus a whole bunch more that could go there too. So either way, live or frozen, I'll ask them, and I'll just bring them a whole bunch out, you know, every time I get overloaded. So
right, well, that's cool.
But, yeah, that was a cool experience. It is very cool, and it felt good to do that too. So.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Even though I'd rather have been herping
never
yesterday.
have enough rats.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I love going herping is because, you know, every time I flip anything, you never know what you're going to find. And, you know, it can be anything from a pack rat to a mole to a salamander. And you know, there's that opportunity for me to, you know, reach down and pick them up and bring them in nice and close. And, you know, I've always been a catcher of animals. It's not just enough for me to see them. I want them.
Right. Okay. So with that
I'd rather have them in my arms is what it really comes down.
Which was more exciting to find? The San Fran garter snake or the Santa Cruz?
Santa Cruz.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That San Fran's nice too, boy. I mean.
Oh yeah, they are. I mean, they're gorgeous. And I lucky for me, I can go anytime I want and pretty much find San Francisco garter snakes.
Really? That's awesome.
But I can't say that with the the mountain king snakes. And you know, it's just something. The mountain king snake. It's just I've only caught like 4 or 5 of them in my whole life, and that's only been in the last 5 or 6 years. You know, where I've caught. So and again, lucky for me now. Process of elimination, I know exactly where to go, and but that being said, you know, it can go months can go by without seeing a mountain king snake, and it doesn't mean I'm going to always see San Francisco garters. I've gone where I know they are and have been skunked several times. You know, just like fishing. You know, you never really know.
Have you noticed that over the years, some of the species you find they we're pretty much in that area every year after that, like, you know.
Where I go, I only go to a few places, and I go there every week, so I'm able to see these different characteristic as far as things to flip and different times of the year, different temperatures. You know, what's going to be active, what's not going to be active, and so that's kind of interesting because I'm really visiting these little ecosystems on a week-to-week basis, and then observing what's going on, you know, when I flip a piece of
each rock's got its own little business underneath there.
Yeah, exactly. They got their own little animal life going on.
It's crazy. It's like there's the food, there's what's eating food, there's what's cleaning up the food, and the waste from the food.
And you know, I have found, you know, California king snakes and gopher snakes underneath the same, you know, piece of tin, and whether or not Cal King was not hungry or what, who knows. But normally, under more normal circumstances, if that Cal King was hungry, he'd make a meal out of the gopher snake. But you never know.
Yeah,
he was making friends for later. He felt like, we're gonna be homies now because I'm gonna be hungry later.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Either way, them are two nice finds. But I mean, it seems like you find a ton of rubber boas, though.
I have in the past, and I've just found out recently that the place that I was going is now off limits. I was there maybe a month and a half ago, and almost got handcuffed, almost got arrested for trespass.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm probably not going to go back there. It's just not the kind of trouble I'm looking for.
No.
Wow.
Well, yeah, it's good to stretch some boundaries, but if you're getting arrested, that's kind of that's not part of the plan. It's like
that's not. I'm not there to upset anybody.
Exactly.
There's like some corporation buy it out, or just...
I don't know. It's just a whole. It's a little ghost town up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. That there was, from what I understand, there was like a hippie cult that used to live there, and now people have gone in and spray painted graffiti all over it and busted things all up, and
just like
all I want to do is flip boards and pieces of metal, and But there have been other people that have gone in there and done quite a bit of damage, through the year.
Right.
So I just wish I had.
Someone's always got to fuck up something.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the other places I go probably are not going to produce too many rubber boas, but that's okay. It's rubber boas. It's really the California king snake, the mountain king, and the San Francisco garters that I'm really looking for. Everything else is just kind of out there.
Yeah.
Because everything else is so prevalent, they're common.
You find a lot of rattlesnakes then too, then?
Oh yeah, almost every time I go out. Yeah.
Cool.
Which it really comes down to, I wish I would never find another one.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean,
it's just that where I go, it's just loaded with them, and you have to be careful. It's just what you have to do.
Is there any more hots out there besides the rattlesnake that you ever find, or is that the only venomous snake you find out there?
In California, we're really lucky, especially in central northern California. The only venomous snake we have here is a rattlesnake, and if it's not a rattlesnake, it's automatic for me to pick it up.
Right.
Because why not? If it's not venomous, why not get a closer look?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Heck yeah. So you do a lot of educational shows too, besides just breeding too, don't you?
I do, yeah. Before COVID, we were going to be doing about 300 this last year, and it just shut us down. But we're now, hopefully COVID, when COVID, the next chapter is over or whatever, that we'll be back. And I've been doing some programs, some birthday parties, and I did one yesterday, and I did 2 last weekend, and they're a blast. They're just so fun.
Do you like that part of it more than breeding, or are you still consider both the same, or No,
I don't. They're totally different.
Right.
With the program side of my business, I can, really spread the good news about reptiles. Where the breeding side, it's about producing babies and that kind of thing, which I love doing. But it's just a totally different thing. It's just, you're taking people that have been basically brainwashed and trying to just switch that mindset to help them understand that snakes are not the aggressive, dangerous animal that people think they are. And
it is amazing how many people hate snakes, and when you really truly get down to asking them why, they're not even sure.
Sure.
At the end, it's like, well, I don't know, but I know I don't like them. And it's like, well, maybe rethink it then, It's
and and it's very common for me to, run into people that are literally just shaking. They're so scared. And my goal at every program that I do is to just change that mindset. And those that are shaking in their boots, the hope is that by the time we're done with the program, they're looking where they want to know where I live, so they can come over and see some babies. You know.
Nice.
Is there certain techniques you use to try to get people, I mean, over their fear?
Sure. Yeah. To me, it's all about you know, the focus really is on overreaching, being somewhat affectionate. You'll in my programs, I'm kissing my animals all the time, and the audience hates it. My wife hates it. But you know, when people start seeing you kissing snakes, and they start seeing that there's no problem with that, they, in most cases, very quickly start changing their minds. And so I kind of overkill on, you know, the fact that these are pets sort of thing. And you know, I'll have instances where, you know, somebody else is holding on to one of my snakes, or maybe 2 or 3 of them, and all 3 of them are stretching out, trying to come over to me. So it kind of gives the perception that maybe they know who I am, and maybe they feel more comfortable with me, and because I'm holding them all the time, you know. So yeah, and there's just so many aspects of it. It's just fun to walk in and see, you know, people that are scared to death, and then, you know, have kids, when I'm done, have kids run up to me and hug me and tell me they love me, you know, stuff like that. It's just,
I think that's amazing. You know, I mean, it's just, especially, you know, like somebody that's a very older person that's their whole life has hated reptiles, and and then to change, you know, what they've been missing their whole life. I think a lot of it's when people, that more adults see a kid handle it and go, well, why am I so scared when this 3 or 4 year olds had, you know?
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. You got some big snakes then too? You got some big constrictors?
I have one 13-foot albino berm, and I just sold about an 8-foot boa constrictor, but those are the only 2, you know, sizable animals I have. And now I just have the one, like I said, he's about 50, 60 pounds and 13 feet. Just as gentle as a puppy. Just as.
Is that the only Burmese you got?
Yep.
I thought you had a caramel at one time.
I did. That animal died.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too.
That was a beautiful animal. I mean, that's a beautiful, beautiful animal.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. One day he regurgitated, and the next day I went out there, and his head was swollen. A lot of edema going around on the head and around the area of the head. And the next day he was gone. And I don't know what happened. I just have no clue.
Is that like a Gulf Coast caramel or whatever? I know there's a couple different line breeds.
Yeah, I don't know. I got it from Ben Rogers, excuse me.
Rogers, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a beautiful Burmese. The caramels are very, very beautiful, you know. So,
yes, every time I looked at that snake, I was like, whoa, you know.
Well, yeah, just because they got the pinkish color or stuff like on their face, you know. I mean, the highlights of everything.
Oh yeah, it's just, and the colors are just, you know, the blacks are real black, and everything else is just really bright. And yeah, it's a gorgeous animal. Yeah,
it's kind of weird because, you know, for the size that I had seen it was decent size. You know, it wasn't like it was a hatchery or nothing. So
no,
or something like that. You know,
6 or 7 feet long and 2 years old or so. And I wasn't pushing him on the feeding side of things. And he was actually he had already started going to programs with me. So, you know, I don't know. You know, it's one of the potential negative things about owning animals is that they eventually will die, you know.
Well, you know, and if you would ask me a long time ago if I ever would think, you know, I would like rats, I would have told you no. But after breeding them, and then you know, that's probably the worst thing I have to do is call them up, you know, because you know, I mean,
it's hard not to like them little fuzzy suckers for sure.
Yeah, I love all animals, you know, and it's kind of, I go through an emotional wrestling match every time I feed my snakes.
It wouldn't be. I guess you'd never think about it if you just ordered frozen thalls and you fed them and you never had to worry about it. But once you put the time in them. But I mean, so you raise your own rats too, I take it.
I do.
And how many snakes you have in your collection?
Oh, right now probably 150 or so.
Ooh, damn.
And then about that in rats also.
Right. Yeah. So how many breeders? How many clutches you gonna do this year?
I think probably less than 20. It's not going to be a huge year, but the stuff I'm going to produce, I'm already getting ovulations, and I'm just like, ooh, this is,
yeah.
There's going to be so much fun. So yeah, I'm not going to get a lot of clutches, but if I produce about 100 babies, that's about normal for me.
Right.
Yeah, I don't produce a lot.
Are you still working with the gold blush in your collection?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. There'll be a lot of gold blush going this year. That will be het for clown and het for pied, and so the goal is to infiltrate basically gold blush, clown, and pied into everything I'm working with. It's real simple.
Oh yeah, real simple.
And also orange dream, and also leopard, and a few other things.
So how did you discover the gold blush?
Years ago, I was producing normals, and I would produce some unbelievably gorgeous normals, and I was able to ask a pretty good price for them. And through the course of time, I started noticing certain physical color pattern characteristics about these normals, and I started wondering if there was a possibility that it was about at that time when specials were being discovered, and yellow belly, and all those normal looking gene traits. And so I started wondering if this particular normal looking ball python that I was producing that was just stood out compared to anything else I was producing. And I started breeding them together and seeing if I could reproduce it. And sure enough, I was able to do that. And then started growing up some animals, and I think one of them died, and I ended up selling one. And so I ended up having to kind of regroup and go back into the projects and start pulling out more gold blush single trait normal looking ball pythons. And
right.
So we've now established that it is at least it's a dominant gene trait. It might be co-dominant, but the super is not like, it's more like a super pastel than it is like a super Mojave or a super lesser. It's not a white snake, but it's more of an enhanced version of its original self. So I'm still trying to figure that out, but it's a very nice enhancer. It's good enhancing gene, and the colors just pop. And I'm really happy with the way it's working out.
What's some of the key markings that you could tell between like a normal and like that gold blush?
Sure. One of the major markings is that right below the nostrils, there are two yellow, very bright yellow dots just up below the nostrils. And then on the belly, a lot of times the belly plates, the scales on the belly, you'll have pigmented scales that show arrows that are all pointing toward the ventral area. I know that sounds strange. And then the blushing coming up from the belly, there's a lot of yellow, and there's a lot of blushiness. And it's a very yellow looking, almost orange dream looking normal ball python. But if you saw a gold blush next to a normal, most ball python breeders would probably be able to say, well, that's something that looks nicer than
right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's God's gift to normal ball pythons, but you can pretty much tell the difference.
Cool.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Well, there's a few genes out there that it's like, what the what?
I know. I know.
So what got you into ball pythons?
I was breeding and selling colubrids for about 15 years, way back in the day. And I was producing about 300 babies a year when I was just literally getting burnt out. It was just encompassing so much of my time, and my kids were just little, and a lot of different things, and so I was in the process of selling out the colubrid collection when I saw a photograph of a pied. And until that time, I had never seen a photograph of a pied. I thought, you know what? I'm going to sell out this collection of colubrids, and I'm just going to turn it right around and reinvest into ball pythons. And that's what I did. And then for a while, my wife and I were breeding and selling rats and mice, and we were producing about 5,000 mice per month.
Wow! Holy shit! 5,000 a month.
Selling them to the local pet shops, and the money that I made from that hobby, if you will, or endeavor, then I just took that money and reinvested into ball pythons, and that's what started all that. I just turned rat money, rodent money into snake money.
Nice,
smart,
and turn them snake money into just pocket money.
But I have to admit, for me, it's never been the selling of snakes that's really paid my bills, right? Because the overhead is just, as you guys know, the overhead's pretty heavy. But the programs, the educational presentations that I do, that's what pays my bills.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had a question in there. They wanted to know if you could see the gold blush in a super Mojave.
Say that again.
Wanted to know if you could see the gold blush in a super Mojave.
No.
Okay.
No.
And then Rob from KY Constrictors said, what is the one gene that you see making a big comeback?
I said this when I was, what was it, maybe even a couple years ago. I was on a podcast with Billy, and I can't remember who the host was. I don't know. And somebody asked the same question, and my comment was the special. And I still think that that's a little bit of it's just sneaking in there. And, when you start things like, I can't imagine what a special pied clown is going to look like, or a special OD pied clown, things like that. That's what intrigues me. So the special, I have a female super special that I'm raising up right now that I produced 2 years ago. She'll be ready next year. And I'll definitely put her right into the pied clown project for sure.
Welcome, Todd Autry.
Nice. Todd, welcome.
There's a big time herper here for Oklahoma right there. So takes phenomenal photographs. And
what's his name?
Todd Autry.
Okay.
People like Discovery. They want his videos. They're so good,
Oh, wow. Oh, nice.
He does like flipping, though. He's definitely.
He's a flipper, huh?
Well, he likes the road cruise. He likes the road cruise. He says he's a little older. It's easier road cruise now. You're a little older than.
I like road cruising too. I love it.
Yeah, he'll tell you, I don't want to walk all day and flip. I'm a little older for that. Too old for that now.
I'm really lucky. The places that I have all, staged out. It only takes me. I'll drive about 20 miles and about a 2-mile walk. An hour and a half, maybe 2 hours later, I'm back in my car on my way home to clean snake cages. So that makes it nice and easy. I'm not up and down mountains or anything like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Heck yeah. What else I got here? So what do you think the biggest thing you've seen change in this industry since when you first started?
Probably the way that people breed or the way that we sell our snakes now. Now we can go into Morph Market and check out all the animals. And back in the day when I was producing colubrid. What's that, Justin?
The options are way more now, yeah.
Yeah. When I was first starting out with colubrids, or even when I got into ball pythons, you'd have to send the breeder a self-addressed stamped envelope and they would then return that envelope with a price list inside of it with photographs, 35 millimeter prints showing the snakes that they had for sale. And it was, and that was kind of fun because you almost didn't really know what you were getting, and but yeah, back in the day, I don't know,
Bad blood, welcome up.
seem to be less, maybe a little bit more humble than they are now. Less drama.
Right.
Well,
Right.
I bet way less drama. Way less, I'm sure.
That come later on in life there. So.
Well, the internet brought the drama in more of it.
Well, yeah,
anyway.
but I mean, you didn't have as many
majority.
people as you did back then doing what we have now.
No.
And just the different and what they're producing nowadays is probably nobody would have ever thought that,
back then the only thing you could get really in a ball python was a albino, a pied, maybe genetic stripe and pinstripe, but there wasn't anything like there is now, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, which and it's obviously not done neither. There's still shit popping up all over the place. Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, it's just I don't see an end to it.
Yeah, it's hard to think that there would be. Yeah, it's unreal. Right. It's like
for sure, for sure. So what's your feelings on
all they need is an address.
On some of the reptile laws and bans they're trying to do nowadays?
Well, I just think it's ridiculous that any law that's going to be passed by a scientific community at least should have peer review. And from what I understand with the reptile situation is that they haven't, it's like you have the Democrats are in control, so that the Republicans or whatever, the opposite side of the group, isn't even able to be a part of the conversation. And that's what it seems like it's, with that community is that, the reptile people aren't even considered, they're not, there doesn't seem to be any validity to their emotional position and whether or not it's, these are pets or whether or not these are, livestock to some people. But yeah, I just think that it's ridiculous for people that don't know about the reptile, the animal itself that, are being a part of the decision-making process. And that's
a huge part of what we've talked about. But none of these people even know what they're even talking about, and they're making all these decisions.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're making up the idea that global warming is going to increase to the point where these animals are going to migrate to Maine.
Yeah, that's just...
No.
I mean, if that isn't, it's just a joke, but it's a joke that we all are not laughing at.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And
because Florida, they've got 16 animals on their list, and they can add another animal whenever they feel like adding it, and that's the bad thing without us having a word in it. And then next thing you know, everybody's following what Florida does. When really the only problem, they're only going to live down.
Lowlight said they announced a bunch more stuff this morning. He said,
yeah, they're only going to live in the Keys down in Everglades.
Yeah,
and it ain't just reptiles. Florida's got invasive plants and trees, and
birds. Yeah.
But once you hit North Florida and above, ain't nothing gonna live.
Exactly.
All year. They're gonna end up dying off. And then it just makes me crazy that you can't have a yellow anaconda, but yet you can have a boa constrictor when they're basically the same size as a yellow anaconda. So
yeah, it's just not. It's very frustrating. And to think that there are people that are in Florida that are going to lose their businesses because of somebody else's lack of understanding is just sad too,
Oh, for sure. I think that's the biggest thing is they always say it's not going to affect no one's income, but there's people that's losing $250,000 to $500,000 a year once they ban this stuff, you know.
Oh, sure. You know, I can't imagine about, you know, Mark and Kim Bell and you know, who else?
Michael Cole.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you know,
Underground Reptiles, all of those guys.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's why I think a lot of them people, you know, like Camp Kenyon and Chandler, they're all doing them, trying to get their zoological. They're building these places now because that gives them that right to be able to keep them animals, you know. But
right.
That's not everybody can do that.
He's got a big place too. He's been doing that shit for a long time.
Yeah, and those guys have, you know, great reputations, and you know, they like you said, Justin, they've been around a long time, so they carry a lot of weight, I'm sure. But not everybody's listening to them.
That's for sure.
I just see it, you know, all it's going to do is drive a bunch of people underground, and then what, you know? I mean, honestly, I mean, you know, or, you know, or the people that don't follow this, they just
Tom Crutchfield's down
there. They have a pet, and they don't know that pet's banned, you know. I mean, then what? You know, little Johnny loses his snake because he didn't know, he just had it as a pet and didn't know there was a law against it, you know. I mean,
the parents get fined or something stupid.
Oh yeah, and then you got Ty Park. Ty Park's got a beautiful place out there in Florida. You know, he's one of the only people that can have a parenting monitor and has applied for a Komodo dragon as a private owner, dude.
Wow.
But I mean, you know,
tons of shit.
Oh, he's got a big place out there. But I mean, you know, yeah, Tom is an amazing person. So
Crutchfield.
Yes.
I'd
like to just hang out with him for a day and just listen to him.
808 Ball Pythons, welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, I mean, I knew they had a couple laws in California there too. You know, they were on the USR hit list. So,
yeah, I haven't heard anything specific. So you know, and there may be a lot of things going on out here, but I'm just not aware of them.
Yeah, sometimes they just try to keep it quiet, or they try to throw something in there and it gets shot down, and then, you know, just to ruffle things up a little bit, you know. But
I think in San Francisco, I don't even think you can own any snakes at all.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, zero. And you know, your audience can tell me if I'm wrong, I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure that people that live in the, you know, the city limits of San Francisco cannot own a snake.
That is just, it seems so stupid.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can understand, you know, if you don't want to own, if you don't want somebody to own a 20-foot retic or something like that.
Right.
You know, but any snake, you know.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I mean, I know, you know, there's some places that say, okay, you can't have nothing over like 7 foot or 6 foot, you know. But,
yeah.
You know, but I mean, just to say, hey, you can't have a corn snake or a ball python or something, it's kind of ridiculous, you know.
Sure.
But
how is it to hang out with Brian Cusco?
How is it?
Yeah, that's what
he's just like he's like my little brother. He's just funner and all good. Yeah, he's just fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
KY
he respected that. He was on a live stream the other day with one of the guys in our community, and he said something about you, and he was talking, and he had to stop for a minute. He goes, man, I got choked up thinking about Brian, you know. You know, I mean, he's just a, you know, I mean, so he's got a lot of respect for you, you know.
Yeah, he's like, I'm serious when I say he's like my little brother. He is, he's like a member of the family. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Right on.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Fitz says he wants to be your little brother too.
He wants to be my little brother?
Fitz does, yeah.
That's great.
Have they been having any expos at all where you're at?
No, I just sent my money to the Sacramento show people, the promoters of that show, and that's going to be happening, I believe, in September. So hopefully
that's still a ways out.
Yeah,
yep.
And hopefully I'll have, you know, a load of babies for that show, you know, by that time. And but yeah, I haven't been to any shows. There has been, I think, one a few weeks ago, but as a rule, they're not totally open up around here yet.
Right.
You know, in due time, but not yet.
You sell any of your snakes on Morph Market, or most of your snakes just word of mouth?
Yeah, pretty much word of mouth. You know, if you want to buy a snake from me, you really want to buy a snake from me, because I'm not advertising. I'm not, you know, and I sell out almost every year, but I just don't.
Right.
You know, it's just not worth the effort for me to do that, because I almost sell out every year without putting that time and effort in. So what happens typically is somebody will ask me if I've got a certain morph or whatever. I'll send them some photographs. If they like them, you know, we'll do the financial transaction, and then I'll ship the animal. And a lot of people come by and buy snakes, a lot of local people, and then I sell quite a few at the you know, the local shows and expos, and then I wholesale at a local pet shop in the area. You know, the single gene animals.
Cool.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. That helps them out a little bit, and then, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a good relationship between me and the local pet supplier, you know, and they wash my back, I wash theirs, so it's all good.
Yep.
Oh, sure.
That's what I was doing with a lot of my normals and some of the single genes. There's a little mom and pop shop that deals with reptiles. I would do the same, and then we just work something out, or credit or whatever, you know. We just whatever, and it worked out good that way, you know. So.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Let's see here. In his yard till he gets sick of you and sells you a snake.
You have to camp.
What was that?
He says you got to camp out in your front yard until you get sick of them, and you'll sell them a snake.
So what would you tell a new person coming in the hobby? What would be some advice you give them if they were just starting out?
You know, I think, and I think I mentioned this on a podcast with someone the other day. I think probably the one thing that's probably missed by most newbies or people that have not a lot of experience is ambient temperature. From a husbandry standpoint, you know, a lot of people think, you know, they look for that hot spot, and we're always talking about the hot spot, and that's great. We want to know how, you know, what kind of temperature that snake's getting when it's at its hottest. But what concerns me is how cool is that snake at its coolest, and that's where we start having health issues. It's not so much on the higher end of the heat spectrum, but it's on the lower end when you start getting animals' body temperatures that are, you know, 75, 74, 73, then in my opinion, you're in serious trouble. And a lot of beginner ball python keepers, especially if they have their animals in their house, aren't being advised to use what I would call two sources of heat, a primary source and a secondary source. And the primary source to me is under tank heating, whether it's heat tape, mat, whatever. And then I think, especially if you're having the snakes in a bedroom type situation where your ambient temperature is usually 68 to 72, that if you don't have a secondary heat source for that ambient temperature, as soon as your snake leaves that primary heat source, that snake's body temperature is going to drop down to ambient temperature.
Too. Yeah.
And it's going to be at 68 to 72 degrees. And a ball python, that's just a respiratory infection just waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And so
too much of a climate change. Yeah.
What's that?
Too much of a climate change within that.
Well, yeah. I mean,
enclosure. Yeah. That's
now these are cold-blooded animals, and as they get colder, their heartbeat slows down, their respiration slows down, and so does their autoimmune system. When these guys get too cool, their bodies are not working as effectively as they should, or they would at higher temperatures. So it's at those lower temperatures, if you're not using a secondary heat source, that we're going to have problems. And I get phone calls from people all over the country almost on a day-to-day basis saying that their animals are, you know, they have RI and their whole collection has come down with it. And then I'll just kind of reverse engineer and try to figure out what's going on. And 9 times.
If you're at like 90 degrees, they're dropping down to 70.
their ambient temperature is in the 60s to low 70s.
Right.
It's just not going to work.
Yeah, that's way too much of a change.
And it's really worse like on the Burmese and the bigger snakes because they get in the water and you'll know when they'll get an RI real quick because they've got cold at some point in their life and it'll hit them, you know, and you'll see it.
I worry about my berm more than any of my ball pythons when it comes to RI, because almost every berm I've ever owned has had RI. And so yeah, I definitely keep the berm at between 84 and 92 just all the time. You know, even when I transport him, in a ice chest in a big cooler on wheels. So not only, you know, does an ice chest or a cooler keep things cold, but they can also
keep it warm. Yeah,
keep it warm. And that's the way I do it a lot of times. I'll microwave a towel and put the heated towel in with the berm in the cooler, and that heated towel will just keep him nice and toasty no matter what the temperature is outside. So that works out real well.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I got retics so it too, and they can take it. They like it a little bit cooler, actually. You know.
Yeah, that probably is,
but not much cooler. You know, I mean, they could go 78 or 70. You know, but you know, they don't have to. They go to the hot side when they eat and they want to digest. Other than that, they don't ever spend no time on that hot side.
Oh, really?
They're always on the cool side. But I run ambient heat, you know, in my room, and I got a thermometer, and it never gets below 77 at the lowest, and it's always around. I try to keep it around 80.
Whatever technique you're using, and your snakes are healthy, then you have that to lean on, you know.
Right.
But I have found that a lot of newer ball python keepers are not getting that side of the equation. And
I think, like you said too, it's like more of like they're in your living room, so they're more living. They're living in your conditions, not in their conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the biggest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If your ambient room, if your snake's ambient room temperature is the same as your heating thermostat temperature, their set point, well then, and which is 68 to 72 degrees. Most of our houses are set at that. Then, if that's the case, your snake's, once it leaves that primary heat source, its body temperature is going to drop, and it's going to drop right down to the ambient temperature, which is in most cases too cool for ball pythons, and that's where we start to see some problems.
Yeah, I got a space heater in my room just for that.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
So
that's exactly what it's for, because
the first thing I did was dedicated a room that was going to be, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a building built just for my snakes, and I also have a space heater in there, because you know, to me, you know, if I started getting vet bills, you get 4 or 5 vet bills a year, that's a couple of $1,000, you know, total vet bills. To me, that's increased overhead that I don't want to see.
Right.
You know,
over something that you could have,
exactly.
Yeah, over something that you could have fixed yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, and a simple fix really at that too. So
exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
But I think that's where a lot of people, you know, a lot of new people don't realize. They think, well, you know, I got heat tape, and you know, the hot spots that, you know, this in
female 808. No, okay.
You know,
they're not
important that we use those temp guns to not only check the temperature of the hot spot and the cold spot, but also the snake's temperature.
Yep.
That, to me, when I'm checking my animals, when I'm checking temps, I want to know what my snake's temperature is, and I can't get that with a thermometer. The only way I can get that is with a temp gun, and it's not that important that it's exact. You know, it doesn't have to be plus or minus 1/10 of a degree or anything like that. A basic understanding of what, you know, how the snake is. But yeah, that's, you know, when it comes to beginner reptile people, that's probably my biggest concern, is that they're not getting the full story when it comes to heat, especially with the boids. You know, with the colubrids, we probably wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the boids,
they're way more different. Yeah.
You know, pythons and boas, it's just that ambient warmth is the key, I think, one of the keys.
Hell yeah.
So you with your berm, do you keep what kind of heat do you keep it in its clothes? Do you have like a heat
I got
panel
everything.
or?
I got everything
Okay.
for him. So I have 11-inch swath heater tape
Right.
from one side from the front all the way back to 11 inches all the way back to the end of his. He's in a vision cage, so he got quite a bit of room to run around. And he's it's and then I have a infrared light bulb that's from heating up from above, and then I have the ambient heater set at about 82, 83.
Cool.
So he's going to be at least 82 or 83 no matter what, but he's usually around 87 to 90 body temperature.
Right. Heck yeah. Well, you got to have that backup, I think, anyway. I think, because you never know. I got heat panels like in like my enclosures, and I like them. They hit the one side, but I also got ambient heat too. So.
Sure.
What's up, Dylan from D's Balls and Exotics? You talk about Burmese. You talk about Burmese pythons. This guy pops in automatically.
What's with this KY getting a pied in here? Telling 808 he can send him a pied, no money needed.
Pied, well, python or pied Burmese?
Oh, python.
Ball python.
Oh, okay.
It's whatever's going on in the chat. I didn't catch it all, but if there's free pieds going around, my address is in the description.
Yep, exactly.
Just letting you know.
I hope there's no free pieds going around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the chat's in here, but KY is saying he wants one shipped to him. So if he's standing in line, I'm in line too.
Yep. You have to ship to us on the panel first.
I'll ship pieds, but they won't be free.
There you go. I figured you were ring and ding.
I didn't know where they were coming from, but if there's a line for free ones, I'm gonna get in it.
You want to get in that line, huh?
Yeah. Never go wrong there.
I know.
Well, now that Dylan's here, we can stop talking about them Burmese. Just kidding, D's. Just kidding.
So, my oldest daughter, she wanted to get a blue tongue skink.
Right.
And I so she'd asked me. I said I know nothing about them, nothing at all.
Sure.
Never had one. I noticed you have a huge blue tongue skink.
Well, I used to. I don't know.
Are they easy to? I mean, are they easy to maintain?
The easiest there is. They'll eat anything. The one I have now, or maybe the last one, the huge one, I found him. I was doing a reptile birthday party one time, and I found him eating a pepperoni pizza.
What?
Oh,
yeah.
Lily. Wow.
Yeah, the blue tongue skink will, feed him grapes, dog food, oranges, and pepperoni pizza.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So they're just little garbage disposals then.
Yeah, they're omnivore, and so they'll literally eat pinky mice, pinky rats, slugs.
Don't tell that to some of these people in this audience. They'll be ordering.
What kind of heat do they need? They need a high heat.
I use the same as I use for my ball pythons.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were like, because monitor stays like. I mean, we got a couple bearded dragons, and to me, they're just so much. They're not so much work, but they're daily. They are a daily.
Yeah.
Daily maintenance. It's definitely a daily maintenance.
Yes, for sure. And keeping like UVB bulbs up and everything on them. And I didn't know what was like the blue tongues, if you need all that, or if you can just put them in like a rack and just
I have a tegu, a black and white tegu. And I let the tegu out into my backyard almost every day. So he has pretty much free roam of my backyard. And, awesome. And that just sort of adds a little bit higher level of, socializing or just having a good old time,
Right.
Different smells. But the blue tongue is easy. Yeah. And I just, like I said, take a spoonful of canned dog food, and you can use kibble too. And I just put a spoonful of canned dog food in his cage, in his little feed bowl, about 3 times a week. That's it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you ever breed blue tongue skinks at all?
No.
Because they're live bearers, ain't they? Don't they have
Yeah.
live? Yeah.
So what I do at the programs, the reptile presentations that I do is I'll first start out with talking about snakes and their different characteristics, physical characteristics about them, and then I'll bring out the blue tongue skink, and we then start talking about how lizards have ears, and that's one of the major differences between them. And then I bring up the birthday child, and I get the birthday child to stand in front of the audience, and I'll take the blue tongue skink, and the blue tongue skink will basically kiss. I call it kissing. It'll stick its tongue out and slap the kid on the cheek or the ear or forehead or whatever. And everybody starts laughing, and the kid's having a good time. And then that kid will sit down, the birthday child will sit down, and then I'll ask for an adult to volunteer to help me out with the next segment of the program. And what they don't know at that point is that I'm going to actually blindfold them. And once they're blindfolded, then I ask them to promise that they will not remove that blindfold no matter what they hear. And then all this time, the tegu has been in a tote box type thing, and nobody even knows I have him. So all of a sudden, you've got typically the father of the birthday child in a blindfold with this big tegu coming out of the box, and his tongue is slapping all over the place. And the audience is going crazy because until this time, they didn't even know I had a tegu. I'll take the tegu over to the father or mother or whatever, and that tegu is just slapping that tongue up against the person's face. And the audience is all just having so much fun. And that's really, my programs start that way, and then they end up with everybody touching and holding everything that I brought. It's a total hands experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's crazy. That'd be fun though. That's a good time right there.
Yeah, and even for me, it's a blast. It's just I can't wait till the next time I do a program. It's just so much fun.
You do like programs for like the Boy Scouts and schools when they got that going on when they were open, I guess.
You name it, yeah. Well, one of the best ones we did was Google's Christmas party.
Oh, cool.
750 people at the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco for 4 hours. We were there.
Wow.
And they just had a blast. And you can actually go on YouTube and put Brian Gundy / Google's Christmas party or something like that. And I videotaped it, and you guys can check it out. But yeah, we do convalescent homes.
Thank you, Cold-Blooded.
Birthday parties, a lot of school programs, assemblies.
Nice.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it depends on if it's a birthday party or a bigger outing or whatever So, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. If I was a kid, I'd want a reptile party for sure.
That'd be way cool. Way cool.
Yeah.
Heck, yeah. I'm old. I'd still want a reptile party. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. I want one now. Shit.
So is Pied your favorite morph then? Because that's what kind of got you, you were interested in ball pythons.
Yeah.
It's a stunning critter for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite. And clown pieds at this point are probably my favorite pied combo. So I'll hopefully be taking it from there and into the next realm. But yeah, pieds are definitely my favorite. I can't even imagine that animal is produced in the wild, by nature.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mind-boggling.
Yep.
Lily says, Mr. Gundy, congrats on your granddaughter.
Thanks, Lily. I appreciate it, sweetie.
Yeah. So is there any species you haven't worked with you'd like to work with?
Reptiles is in the house.
I mean, I know you've worked with a ton of animals in your lifetime.
Yeah, I wish I had a mountain lion for a pet. That's that's the only thing missing in my life right now. But
you've probably seen bobcats and everything else.
All over the place up there. I told you.
I've lived a long time. I have lived an amazing life. I've worked with a lot of different animals, and been through a lot of different heartaches and, you know, stuff, but that's what makes you the person that you are, you know, and
For sure.
yeah, I don't, there's nothing I regret.
180 snakes. Good Lord.
That's cool though. So who are some of your big influencers?
Well, definitely Steve Irwin. Colubrid breeder by the name of Bob Applegate. He probably would be up there also. And then Dan and Colette's ex-partner. Do you guys know who Dan and Colette are?
Welcome.
The snake
I've heard the name. Yeah.
Their ex-partner, Dwayne Richard. He was a good friend and a very knowledgeable guy, and yeah. But definitely Steve Irwin.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, I think that's on top of most people's list, just because, you know, I mean, what he did, you know, and I mean, yeah, he's just a legend, you know what I'm saying?
Did you really dislike that guy anyway? I mean, even if you didn't like animals, I mean.
What's that, Justin?
I love that guy. I said you can't dislike that guy no matter who you are. It's like, even if you didn't like animals, he's just a great guy. He's like, crazy.
And his family's still carrying on that legacy, and yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, his kids are just like him, you know. I mean, and, you know, it's great to see that, you know. So
definitely,
you know, and the respect, you know. I mean, you know, for their dad that they didn't get to have, but they have so many people there that could, you know. I mean, you know, that he's just, you know, it's awesome. So
yeah.
But I think today's I see more people sharing knowledge today, you know, than, you know, we never used to get that back in the day, you know. Nobody ever wanted to share nothing, you know.
I know, and that's what prompted me to make sure that I share everything. I don't have any secrets. I'll tell you everything I know. And I don't know if you guys may have heard this, but years and years ago, I called up a breeder, and this is a world-renowned breeder, and I was asking them for information about breeding boas, because I was just starting out with the boas and wanted to get as much information. I was doing my research, and you know, picking people's brains is a big part of how I do research. And one of the comments that was made during at the end of the conversation was that they had noticed by looking at their database that I had not purchased a snake from them, and they said they had a company policy that because I wasn't a customer, that they did not and would not share information with me. And I said, I just thought, okay, well, I get that. You know, if that's how you want to be. I didn't say that. And I hung up the phone, and I just told myself, don't ever say that to anybody. Because it made me feel, crazy. I don't know, it just didn't make me feel good, you know, about the situation. And so I've been just the opposite, you know. I have techniques that I use that probably most people would think are insane, but again, it's one of those things. It works for me, and it's nice to know that, you know, if you have knowledge or experience, that you can help people that don't have that same knowledge and experience, and who knows, maybe increase their ability to, you know, maybe, you know, turn 2 or 3 years off of their educational experience just by, you know, giving them little hints, little techniques here and there they don't have to go to that college of hard knocks like I did, and probably you guys did too.
Right.
But yeah,
like Rob said, you know, you could have been a potential customer if they'd given you a little bit of info, but you know, I mean.
Well, yeah.
Oh, sure.
They don't,
and you know, to tell you the truth, I sell a lot of my snakes by people calling up and we're not even talking about a snake. And then who knows, a week or two later, they'll come back and say, you know, we never talked about this, but do you have any snakes for sale? And then we'll, you know, that will just go, you know, lead into another conversation. But yeah, it's always been, I've always been open to helping other people. It's just, you know, it's the way I was raised. It's the way it's, yeah.
That's what Dylan said. He said he called you up one time and you got a number, and you talked for a couple hours answering questions, and he said he's forever be grateful for that. And I've noticed that's something about you is is your cell phone is blasted everywhere, and you put it out there for people to hit you up if they have any problems.
Yeah.
And that's awesome because I mean, there's times people they need help, and nobody wants to give them no help.
I know. And so if I can, just reassure them, make it a little bit easier, a lot of people, when they make mistakes, they start beating themselves up for it. And, it's just about learning. It's just, nothing ventured, nothing gained,
Well, exactly. I mean, somebody on the East Coast, it could be, 9, 10 o'clock and have a problem and a vet closed and still be able to get a hold of you where it's early. And, but I mean, they somebody they can call and say, hey, what can I do? Because there ain't nothing open, or some people really freak out.
Well, I know, and that's why I put my number out there, because if you're freaking out, let's talk.
Right.
There's no need for someone to be freaking out over what usually is a very minor issue anyway.
Or a simple fix.
If I freak out, I just go to one of our live streams. Somebody's in there is going to help me out.
Yeah, there you go.
About it. It's like I do. If I'm freaking out, I either call him or Jason, or I ask it on the live stream or something. It's like, oh my God, everybody, what do I do?
Oh yeah, no, and that works. You have
it helps.
A whole group of people that can help you out there. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, especially with like he said, man, this is my first breeding season. He's nervous, and just assuring him that he's doing everything right. I think that's the biggest thing. Assuring somebody, hey, you're good, you're doing it right. Don't overthink it because you're doing perfect. I mean.
Yeah. No, and that's what a lot of what I do is most of the time I'm talking to someone, they're, like they are saying they're beating themselves up for making a mistake, and maybe it wasn't even a mistake. Maybe it was just a little misjudgment call or something, and usually there's no big, catastrophe that's caused by minor mistakes, but yeah, I always try to build that person up, make them, feel, maybe even better than they did before the conversation. What the heck, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of people in chat. They said you've taught them so much, and and everything else.
Sure.
I mean, and I think that's the biggest thing, and just and you're humble about it, and that's what why people really like you and call you, because you're not. These people probably have reached out to other breeders or people, and they just didn't get the answers they were looking for. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that's hard,
No, I know it is, and that's one of the reasons why I do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see more people sharing
I do too.
and I like that, and bigger breeders and not keeping secrets. You know what I mean?
I do too, and I like that too. Yeah.
Because it's going to help. It's going to help everybody.
Everybody.
Really.
Yeah. Animals.
I mean. If you try to keep all this for yourself, you're not helping yourself or nobody. If you can share it, everybody can get a piece of that pie or whatever, or help each other and go on.
It's interesting now these days, because I go out and do a lot of herping. I have my own stashes, if you will, where I have boards and pieces of tin to flip, and those are my boards. I put them there 4 years ago or 5 years ago.
Right.
But I'm going to start, in fact, I was just showing a guy yesterday some of my boards, because I'm going to, and I'm not getting any younger. And if I'm thinking that, rather than to keep these things sort of secretive, maybe I should start sharing this information so that other people other than myself can enjoy flipping up a piece of board and finding a rattlesnake underneath it or a gopher snake or something like that. And so I'm now sharing my spots with people just because I want to kind of share that fun, as long as they use the good herping protocol.
Right. Well, and that's big in the herping community is, people taking video. Hey, don't be no marks, that, take it, off the road. Don't be telling people where these spots. I mean, that's to get into and be able to go to some of them. I mean, you have to be somebody, because a lot of people won't share.
No, I know.
Unless you're tight with them on that herping deal. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, and I'm starting to share, and I just hope I don't find myself regretting it, But I'm opening up to my spots now. I'm sharing that.
Don't share too much too fast.
Yeah, okay. I'll try to remember those words of wisdom.
Well, I mean, if especially if you know somebody that you can trust with it, it's when you tell somebody, and the next thing you know, they're bringing 20 other people with them.
Yeah, and
that's the worst
now
part,
it's just now you might as well just open it up to everybody and go, here you
Yeah.
go, because and that's what happens,
I know, and so that's one of the reasons why I until now kept pretty much everything a secret when it comes to my herping spots. But I'm hoping that the people I do share that information with will also be respectful of it and the animals and the little animal kingdoms that are out there.
Oh yeah, you flip a rock over, flip it back where it is, or whatever.
Put the
that's how all that
back.
Stuff is,
Yep. I want to be able to, have fun with that board for years to come.
Oh, for sure. There's that one YouTube channel. What is it? NFK Herping or whatever. They go all over the United States, so they've got to hook up with a lot of people because no matter where they go, they're finding.
Have you guys ever seen Lou Boyer? 740. Yeah, his stuff. He's flying all over the world and herping. That's just got to be a blast.
Now that would be fun to do that, and actually
hey Chris, if you ever come out here to the Bay Area, I'll take you San Francisco garter snake hunting.
Oh man, dude, that would be like a lifetime experience right there. I'm in on that.
Did you see the time I took Cusco and Garrett Hartle and Dave Kaufman? I'll tell you, when we found that San Francisco garter snake, I thought Garrett was going to pee his pants.
Oh man,
he was so.
Oh yeah, because that would be like I would just have to call my buddy Rob up and let him know that he'd be like, oh.
Yeah, it's a beautiful animal, that's for sure.
Rob be like, you better be bringing me. There was a local breeder here that was producing albino checkers, and had a couple people looking for him, and Rob and actually Anthony from Granddaddy Herps. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
I sent him some too, and because a lot of people have been looking for him, couldn't find him. Well, this guy here just like it was no big deal, Oh yeah, I got him, and he sexed them, and so,
what is it you're finding? What is it you're finding?
They were albino checkered garter snakes.
Oh wow!
They were looking for.
Okay,
so,
these are wild, not wild caught or anything like that, though.
No, this guy breeds them.
Okay.
And they were wanting some for their collection, so it was pretty neat that this, that this guy had them, and because they said, man, I've been looking for him and I can't find him nowhere. I'm like, well, this guy here, he's just a little guy, local. He's got tons of them for sale,
Spider question: do you ever find any tarantulas?
Once in a while, mostly scorpions, though, where I go.
Nice.
Once in a while, you'll run into a big, what do you call it? A big formation of them where they're migrating.
Yes.
That's kind of neat.
I see that here in Oklahoma.
I haven't seen a tarantula in years. I see scorpions almost every time I go out now. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Yeah, there ain't nothing better than that, though. So I mean, yeah, it's fun just to go out because it's almost like fishing,
Oh yeah.
Even if you don't find nothing, you had fun doing it,
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about what you're doing. Doesn't necessarily have to find something.
Sure, I'm walking along and I'm looking up on the hills and for wild boar, and I'll have a red-shouldered hawk fly over my head, and there's deer and also, and I'm looking for everything I can possibly find. It's just like I have to feed my brain with something visual in nature. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because a lot of people walking, they don't ever look up.
I know.
They don't. They never look up.
It's funny because I'll be driving along in my area, and where I live, there's several nesting sites of golden eagles. And once in a while, I'm just driving down my street, and I can tell a golden eagle flying by, and there's a golden eagle, and I'll go, I'll think to myself that there's 50 people in these cars right here. They probably don't even have a clue, what just flew in front of them, But it's a blast.
Yeah, because I don't know how many red-tailed hawks and stuff I see all the time. Every fence post the same thing, and people, they'll drive by, they'll even know there's a hawk sitting on that dang post. Like, are you serious?
Yeah. And that's how you catch them. You're hunting for them when they're on fence posts and telephone poles, and you drop a little wire mesh cage down at the base of the pole where they're sitting, and you put a hamster. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but the hamster inside of the cage, and you use about 60-pound test fishing monofilament fishing line, and you tie snares on top of this wire cage. You put a hamster in it. You drive along, you see a red tail sitting on a fence post or a telephone pole, and you drop literally from your car. You gently drop the cage out of your car, and if the bird of prey is hungry, he'll literally come right down and start trying to claw at that hamster. But because the way the cage is designed, it has a little radius to the top of the cage, and the bird of prey can't reach in there and get a hold of the hamster. So before you know it, the hawk has caught onto 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever number of snares, and then you've got them. And you take them home, and you start working them and training them, and that's where it really becomes a lot of fun too.
Wow.
Yes, Marita, I'll hook you up with that. We'll talk about that for sure.
Okay.
No, she was one of them garter snakes. I said,
oh, I see.
I'd help her out. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I never would even thought of that. That was that easy,
Oh yeah, it's just like a lot of other things. If you know the recipe, then you're gonna, if you understand the logic behind catching things, you can catch a lot of stuff
for sure
from animals.
And to do it the right way too, I guess too. So I mean,
yeah, you don't want to hurt the animal, and you don't want to hurt if you can get best if you can get away with not hurting the hamster and or the hawk.
Right.
Is there a reason why you said hamster?
Yeah, because
specifically,
that's a great question. If you put a rat in there, they'll find a corner and go to sleep and not move around. Or if you put a hamster in the cage, the hamster will continuously look for a way to escape. And while they're just buzzing around inside of the cage looking for a way out, that's what's attracting the attention of the hawk.
So they're just way more active. I never thought about something like that. Wow.
Rats are not active, and hamsters are. And that's the only reason.
I thought about that for a minute. I was like, why did he say hamster?
Yeah, no.
Because hamsters are a lot more expensive than a rat.
Oh, I know. But you're not going to catch a hawk with a rat. You will with a hamster.
Wow. That's crazy.
Just one of those things.
Yeah, I would have thought you'd use a mouse or a rat or something. I never thought about that. That's funny.
Here I have hundreds of rats, but if I was going hawk hunting tomorrow, I'd have to go buy a hamster.
It's $25 or some goddamn thing at the Petco.
Sure.
It's like, Jesus, $25 for a hamster? It's like they're crazy now.
Yeah. Yep.
Hamsters are. That's like when I hear people like, "Oh, try a hamster." It's like, "Oh man, you try a hamster on your snake, and that's going to be an expensive deal." It's like,
and not only that, but once you try hamsters on snakes, they don't want anything else.
They're right.
You're creating, and I've had to do that before. I had a snake that all it ate were hamsters, and
I'd start breeding them. There's no way I'd go paying them.
I did too.
Damn hamsters, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Venom Wonderful, welcome. But yeah, that's
because you can't, Justin, he can have ASFs where he's at, and so can I.
Oh, okay, yeah, they're totally illegal here.
Right. Well, you just tell them they're a Siberian dwarf hamster.
That's what they always say. It's funny.
Siberian snow hamster. They'd never know. And probably a lot of people would really not even know what they were if you didn't tell them. To be honest.
Sure,
and that's why.
With us out here, we know that if we break that kind of law, there's a possibility we could have our animals confiscated.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
so with that being said, it's
just
not worth it,
Yeah, they're pretty strict over there.
Call them mice because they are mice. Most people don't even know they're an actual mouse. Like I just read
right.
Yeah, no, it's fish and wildlife out here. They know.
They know.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know anybody that takes that risk because it's a heavy duty risk, and I'm sure not.
I mean, for sure. I mean, it's weird because, I've known a few people. Well, we're just recently that are in our group that they got sold some snakes, and they told them they weren't. They were on rats, and they were actually on ASFs. And these snakes didn't eat for about 4 months until I had a colony I gave them.
That still got you worked out, doesn't it?
It does because, dude,
Yeah,
that's bad business,
it
dude.
does.
That's bad.
I know.
That's 3 people that's hit me up about the same
Red Dirt
person.
Reptiles, welcome.
You know what I mean? So,
I know you want to choke him now, don't you?
Well, just be honest, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
just be
it's
honest.
frustrating.
You know? Because number one, some people don't have access to them. Number two,
Snake lost how many hundreds of grams? Wasn't it like a couple hundred grams
I know
or something?
he was in the chat. A couple hundred, yeah. He couldn't, but he goes, as soon as he brought him home, that thing it hit him instantly.
Yep.
And so, you know,
Snake was about dead and shit. It's crazy.
You know, and that's the only thing is I think you know, if you want to feed, I think they're good, but they should be fed to your collection that you plan on not getting rid of. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you get them hooked and somebody can't, you know, doesn't have access to them, I mean, you know, what if I was feeding them hatchlings that
females, for sure,
and sent them to, and then you bought a hatchling off me and you can't get them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
and that happens more than you think. I get phone calls all the time from people that have bought, you know, a mouse eater or a rat eater from whoever, and now they've got it at their home, and now they can't find live rats or live mice, and now what do? You know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that can get pretty frustrating.
And the prices that some of these places charge for them is crazy.
Yeah, and then I was just going to say that if you do find them, then they're, you know, $18 for a large rat or something. It's like, what? It's like, well,
isn't that something? Huh?
Yeah, it's crazy what they charge for them. I mean, really, it is. I mean, and they didn't. And around here, weren't that high till just like a year or so ago. You know,
interesting.
I mean, you used to be able to get a decent size, you know, like a small or whatever, a medium, pretty cheap. But now it's to the point where a small is like $8, $9,
really?
$10. You know. I mean, just a weaned rat is like $3.50 at these pet stores.
Is that from a local PetSmart type thing or a local rat breeder?
That's kind of like from we got these places called Southern Agriculture where they, you know, they have rats and stuff. I mean, they don't really sell no snakes; they just do feeders. But yeah, they get big money for them, you know. And, but if you can find a local breeder, you get a lot better deal, you know. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah, when my wife and I were selling, like I said, 5,000 mice per month, we were netting, after all the bills were paid and everything, we were netting each $50 an hour in labor. So every hour that we put into the business, we paid ourselves net $50 an hour. It was great. It was a good deal.
He thought it was great.
Well, I mean, I've heard of a lot of people though, and you know, in the last year or so, it seems like California gets a point during the year. It seems like the rats are really hard to come by. You know.
Yeah, they are. They can't.
And I don't know if they're going to a certain place. You know, like I don't know what the big names are there, but you know, it seems like they're always hard to get. So.
Yeah. That's why I want to do my own. I don't, you know. When I want to feed a snake, I want to feed a snake. I don't want to. I don't even. I mean, there are times when I'll feed a hatchling rack on Tuesday and another rack on Thursday, and being able to have those rats right at my fingertips is huge for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I don't think there'd be. I think if people don't raise their own rats, there's a lot of people that wouldn't have as many snakes as they have in their collection because there's no way they can afford to feed them. You know.
Sure. Oh,
I mean,
medium rats here at PetSmart are $12.
Isn't that something?
Fucking $12.
And you think about it too. A lot of the PetSmarts, Petco's, whatever, most of them just sell mice, frozen mice. They don't even sell rats. You know.
I bet. I don't know, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, but you know, I think that's what helped a lot of people though is when you have these little expos going on all the time. There's always somebody selling feeders there, and they always got a good deal at it. When COVID come through, kind of shut everything down.
Sure.
A lot of people were at loss with it, you know. So.
Yeah. Lucky for me, I have a service where I can actually call them up on Tuesday and have 100 medium rats delivered on Wednesday.
Right.
Right to my house, which is I don't even have to go anywhere, which is nice.
I do 3 for a small, 4 for a medium. Now it's all about rat talk in the chat. It's like, I pay this, I pay that.
Yeah, I paid $270 for a small.
Yep.
From a wholesaler when I need to buy it.
Yeah, $3 small, $4 medium, $5. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost to the point where, shit, I ought to just make a whole garage into rats and just sell.
I'm telling you, financially, you would probably make much more sense. Because then
because if you could sell them and make money to pay for the food, the bedding, and your time, plus feed your own collection, and make a little pocket change.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'd like to start doing that around here, selling a little bit more. But once we move.
Yeah, when we used to do that, the biggest thrill would be when a pet shop would order 100 or 200 pinky mice. Well, pinky mice don't eat; they only drink, milk. They only nurse. So that the pinky mice are not taking your overhead, and which makes from a financial side of things, we were selling them for 40 cents a piece.
Wow.
Yeah, what I would do is I'd go to a local pet shop and I would bring them as a gift 100 adult mice, and I would walk in. They didn't know who I was, unannounced, uninvited, and I would just walk in and give them a Tupperware tub of 100 large, adult mice. And I would then introduce myself and I'd say, hey, these are yours. And what I'd like to do is talk to you about getting, a weekly delivery service going on. And so what I would tell them is I would tell them that I will fill your order on a week-to-week basis. And if I'm not able to fill your order because of your order being too large or whatever, then I will fill it the following week for free. And that's what I just offered them a deal. I brought in 100 mice. Here's a Merry Christmas, and then I offered them a deal they couldn't refuse, and that's how I got the business going. And like I said, at one point, our highest point, we were selling 5,000 mice per month. We had 140 mouse cages set up on individual water bottles. It was pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but making money.
That's a lot of rodents, man.
Yeah.
But then again, you just get in a routine. It's like, well, you get this many, you got that many. What the hell? You just keep going. You adapt to it.
Commit to a certain amount of time on a week-to-week basis, and
Right. And get a system down, then it ain't so bad, if you just get that system down,
Sure.
Do you raise you still raise mice or just rats?
Just rats. Yeah, there's not a mouse out there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So because that was a big, I always try to give all my hatchlings, rats right off the rip,
I do too. That's the first meal they ever get is a fuzzy rat.
Yep. And I get it. People do the mouse hoppers and stuff, but if I can get them on rats, then so be it. But
they only do the mice for the convenience of how fast they're going to take it is the reason why.
Well, I think too, though, if I'm selling to somebody local here, and they just go to a Petco and can only get a frozen mouse, then it's on a mouse too, But most of the snakes are pretty easy. If they're hungry, if they're eating a rat, they'll eat them out.
Yeah, that most babies, you're right.
Brad, beautiful balls, welcome, man, welcome.
Most babies are so hungry they'll eat anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In fact, I had a snake a while back, ate a pepperoni pizza. No, I'm just kidding.
That was the blue tongue skink.
Yeah. I got confused.
Feed them Reptilinks.
I heard about those. Those were around 34, almost 40 years ago. I remember even before I was breeding and selling, I remember being able to buy reptile sausages or something, like snake sausages,
That's just weird.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's really changed a lot over the years, just the way people keep them and the stuff they've come up with, just from everybody keeping them in a plywood box or an aquarium,
Sure.
It's amazing the stuff that they can come up with. But I mean, I think that's a lot of it too. I think when you get to be a new person, try to spend some money on some equipment too. Nice equipment. And instead of skimping on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a couple of Freedom Breeder racks, so that's that's like the top of the line racks you can get, but they are sure nice.
Right.
Oh, I bet.
Very expensive, but I'll tell you, I have had them now for about 4 years, and I don't think I've had one rat chew any of the tubs at all, which was always a concern when I had, homemade rat cages, or racks.
Right. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you're in California too, so that ain't bad, right there. So, but yeah, I mean, they make some. I think their rat racks are the best on the market.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the ARS rat racks. I'm not impressed with them. I don't mind their snake racks, but I wouldn't mind an ARS rat rack.
That's the one with the funky tubs on the outside or whatever. They never ride right and all that shit.
Yeah, they'll fall out and stuff. Yeah. But I mean, as far as snake racks, they both make good racks, and you can tell because they've been backfilled forever. With everybody ordering racks, so
sure,
it's unbelievable. So
yeah, that must be quite a big business they have.
Well, you'd think though, that was wild that COVID really helped the hobby because the prices went up. I mean, people bought out. I mean, people were having good years all year. So.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Every company that makes anything to do with snakes has been backed up forever.
Isn't that
48 weeks to get a rack or something? It's like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It was nuts there for a while. It was crazy.
Well, I guess the stimulus went to racks instead of guns.
Guns and racks, I'm sure.
I mean, that's what they spent it on. So
yeah.
So what's your feelings on hets or visuals?
Define. What do you mean feelings?
I mean, do you think you should get a visual, or do you think hets? Are you for hets? Like somebody saying, hey, that's all I can afford, or should you think you should at least try to shoot for a visual?
It just a lot of it depends on your budget, and I've been on both sides of the coin where I remember when I bought my first pied. I saved, once I made a decision that I was going to buy a pied, it took me 18 months to buy it. I had to save for 18 months it was a $4,700 purchase.
Wow.
And it took me 18 months to get the cash ready or whatever. And,
right.
But yeah, I always think you should buy the visual. Now, years and years and years ago, it made sense to buy hets. It even made sense to buy possible hets, because the projects were so valuable, and you couldn't get a $10,000 pied, so you settled for either a $1,000 het or something like in that realm.
Right.
And so I've done it with both. All of my pied clown projects are all from a pied to a clown breeding, producing double hets, growing them up, breeding them, and then producing whatever from them. So yeah, it just depends. When I'm talking to new people, I don't recommend they buy the least expensive animal. I recommend they buy the most expensive animal that they can afford, because you're going to learn one way or the other. This is not
for sure.
And so if you're going to get into this and you're going to be breeding, I always recommend that don't mess around. Get the snake you want to get. If that's a pied, get the pied. And it's not about necessarily the money side of it. Get the snake that really floats your boat. If you love the way pieds look and you think you're going to look at them 4 or 5 times a day, that's
that one.
That's the animal you want to get. And I really do recommend people spending this. If they're going to do this and with hopes of making money, then you have to make the investment. Here's the example. Do you think Miguel Garcia would be as successful as he is today if he'd started off with pastels and Mojaves?
Nope.
Oh, no. I mean, no.
Nope,
okay.
not at all.
Yeah. So I agree with you. Take the risk,
Yeah. If you're going to do this for the hobby and it's just your passion, then get the animals that definitely are going to be your favorite animals to look at. You know, you want to share them, you want to show them off. And that's why I like the pied so much, because they pretty much, you know, they just
well, visually it's the most appealing, you
of
know,
course,
for
yeah,
most people, you know.
yeah,
so.
exactly.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's what I think. I think, you know, buy expensive, and you know, because with this market, you know, you guys know that the prices are going to go down, and so if you, especially if you're looking at codominant gene traits, I remember I was telling someone the other day, I remember I hatched out some of the first bananas on the West Coast. They didn't belong to me. They belonged to a friend of mine. And when we hatched them out, he sold several of them locally for $35,000 each. And that was probably eight years ago, maybe 9 years ago. So here we are 9 years into the project or so, 10, let's say 10. And we went from 35,000 to what can people buy a banana for? $100 now? 200?
couple hundred bucks.
Yeah.
Probably a couple hundred.
And so,
Yeah, that's crazy.
you know, I think recessives are definitely a stronger, there's a stronger market for recessive traits. I mean, whether you want to look at the clown or the monsoon or the sunset, those are, you know, still very, very powerful, very valuable projects. And those are, you know, are just going to continue to grow. And we're, you know, but yeah, I'm always for make that investment.
Well, then, yeah, and in turn, too, with like the visual, you know, the visual to visual, you're going to produce, you know, more valuable animals than you are if you did head to head. You're going to have the chance of having animals. And not only that, but when you go to sell the animals, it's going to be much more difficult to sell possible hets, let's say.
Yeah.
And
it's
welcome, Joe. Welcome, Lizard Mom.
And it's probably going to be more difficult to sell the pets than to sell the visual.
Yeah, because I mean, especially with, I mean, some genes I'm sure are expensive, you know, to where it's like, you know, the head is well worth it. But now, like a visual clown, it's like versus getting a het clown. It's like you might as well just buy the visual. You're wasting 2 years, 3 years raising this thing up. Just buy the visual.
Buy the visual.
There's too many people say, you know, like go with the het, go with the het.
Right.
And if it's not a really expensive gene, it's like you're better off going with the visual if you're going to try to make things later on, you know, in my eyes, you know.
Yeah, if it's either a het or a visual, but if it's like you know, a firefly, Mojave, who knows what else, het clown, well then that's going to be a little bit different situation, you know.
Well, yeah, that's just like a little added bonus kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Well, I mean, unless you're shooting for like a candy pied, and then you got to put out some money for a candy pied, where you might do, you know, I mean, because they are a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 animal, you know. So
yeah, sure.
Well, some of that shit gets crazy. It's like, oh, it's this, and possible 3 other things. It's like, well, shit, you know.
Yeah, and that's the way the market seems to be going too, because you know, even people like Kevin McCurley will say, you know, I don't know, I think it has fader in it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're not even sure anymore. They got so much.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah. So I would rather personally focus on the quality of the animals rather than stacking up a bunch of genes that are going to come out looking like a white snake anyway, you know, when it's all
and then you're never sure of what's actually in there after a while. It's like, well, it could be this, there's this, and then it's like, if you want to do a project with it, you got to carry on that could be shit.
Yes.
And it's like, you know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like Jason said, he started out with a visual male and you know, some het females, and he said the males were cheaper and grow faster. And then so, you know, then when his females are signed, you know, I've seen people do that. I've seen people, you know, give you a good deal on a male, and you know, like a package deal with hets. You know, of course, your females are going to take longer, but you know, you can always buy a female now and wait a year or two, and then just buy a powerhouse male too. You know, if you wanted to, you know, you don't have to worry about the male right now if you don't want to. You know, I
mean, for sure.
But I mean, but then there's always people out there that's, you know, you see that did a het to het and hit all visuals, or you know, they hit the odds that, you know, because, you know, there's going to be that one person that's going to hit a good odds, you know. But
And then there's that person that gets the lesser odds too, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and that would be me.
All normals or something. You know.
Because you know, the gods are just going to sprinkle a little bit through the whole season for me, and then on the clutch I want, it's just going to bust. He's going to be like, nope, you remember that little one I gave you there and there? I'm not giving it to you here. Yeah.
Yeah, well, all the decisions is based on, too, like, what are you going to do later? If you're just a hobbyist, it doesn't even kind of matter. You're just kind of collecting snakes, having fun, producing a few. But if you're like serious business-wise, and you almost have to go with all the...
Sure, I mean, you know, the bottom line is...
have to, but I mean... If that's your intention right away to be a business, you have to start strong, you know?
Yeah.
Is it, do you like all the pieds, or do you have more favorite? Like, do you like a high white, a low white? I mean, is there one you prefer more?
I like sort of a mid-range, medium quantity, you know, 50% blotched type thing. My perfect pied is not a high white. Definitely not. I'm not a low white kind of pied guy.
Right.
I'm 50-60% white or 70%, you know, but to have one that's like 90, that doesn't really do it for me either.
Right.
Yeah, you got to have that cool contrast of like 50-50 to make the pied really.
With me, it's all about contrast. So,
and see, I'm the same thing. I don't like the really light colored pieds. I mean, they're cool, but the darker colored genes with the pied look way better.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so much fun, is because everybody has their own unique eye candy, you know, prerequisite, you know, or whatever. And
yeah, for sure.
Welcome, Jose. Do you like the light stuff or the dark stuff, or does it matter to you?
I'd rather kind of go, because I'd rather go with a little bit lighter, because my line of pieds, I call them the yellow striped pied line. And so a lot of the times I'm throwing a lot of striped pieds, and a lot of them are very yellow, sort of like almost an orange dream effect. So that's what I started breeding for, 12, 15 years ago, when I started breeding my first pieds. And now almost every pied that I own is related to that first patriarch pied that I got, way back. A lot of my animals are related. A lot of my animals are holdback.
Have a good night, Rob. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I mean, that's what you do. You hold something back and, build that collection up, and then sell what you don't need, and then to help put into your collection, really, I mean, that's what it's all about. Till you get where you want to be at, and I don't know, is there just a certain amount of projects you wanted to work with and you didn't want to go no more than that? I mean, some people just have tons of different projects going on,
Yeah, I'm only working like 3 or 4 different projects, and it used to be more, but now it's just whittled down, and a lot of it's pied, a lot of it's clown, a lot of it's orange dream, leopard, that kind of thing.
You gotta have leopard. That's a given. You gotta have leopard. I mean,
I think so too.
Me too.
I mean, that's probably my favorite gene, to be honest with you, is leopard. I just think it goes good with everything.
And I'm looking forward to mixing it up with a lot of other things to see what happens when that leopard gene gets mixed in.
Oh, for sure. I mean, a big gene out, I think now that a lot of people is blackhead. A lot of people are working with the blackhead,
Yeah, sure.
That shit's everywhere.
And it makes some nice stuff. Really dark stuff too. I mean, it's nice. So.
And if I was younger, I'd probably load up on a bunch of desert ghost stuff. Because that's just to me, that's just a project that really
it's amazing, yeah.
Oh, for sure. The desert ghost stuff is really, really nice.
Yeah.
I think that's something a lot of people get, have in their collection house, desert ghost, and and then of course.
Well, it's like Honey Reptiles. I mean, he got desert ghosts and everything, doesn't he?
Who's this?
Pretty much.
Honey Reptiles.
Hector from Honey Reptiles.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, he does. He loves the desert ghost.
He's a smart man.
On anything.
And well, his first snake, the first investment was a $6,000 monarch.
Hey, there you go. Make that investment.
But he's got plans for that monarch, and stuff you ain't seen. Desert ghost in it too, and
sure.
He's bought his pieds. He's got the MJ Lightning pieds. I mean, he knows what he wants. He buys quality animals and he gets what he wants, and that's that's how his collection's going. I mean, you know, that's,
Sure. Yeah, that's how to do it. I think. Yeah.
oh yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal, you know. So, and he's a good
Blackwidows
person in the
amazing.
community.
Keeps building egg sacs like a champ.
Yeah,
Keep taking them out of there, but she keeps making them.
he does a lot of loyalty giveaways to people that constantly are just his supporters.
Yeah.
He'll just give away a phenomenal snake to one of his subscribers that are there supporting him all the time. And he
Sure.
knows, and that's kind of cool, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
because you don't have to do that. It just,
Sure.
you know.
Well, you know, I mean, you guys know the gift is always to the giver, not. I mean, the receiver, he loves it, but the giving that gift is always fun. You know.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
So what a thrill it must be for him to be able to do that. You know.
Yeah, I'm well. I know I'm one of the receivers, so I can't complain.
Yeah,
I got a pass.
Yeah, okay, well.
I got a pastel hit Desert Ghost possible monarch. So I can't
Wow, how
complain.
fun!
But I mean, you know, I was surprised when he just reached out and told me that, though, dude. You know,
I invested in the super normal, still waiting for it to.
And he produced it. That was his first clutch he produced, and that's where it comes from.
Nice, Jason. Nice.
So that was cool. So.
That's a giving guy. That's good.
Yeah. So.
And
we're all waiting. We're all waiting for him to get to 2,500 because he's giving away a super pastel Desert Ghost.
Yeah.
And then you can pay it forward.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I think. I mean, and you know, good karma comes around. You know, you just pay it. You know, keep that forward, and that's what keeps good things going. You know. Because there might be somebody that needs that. If you got something you really don't need no more, if you've worked it enough, and say I've read this and I've got something that's going to take its place, and there's somebody that really needs that,
welcome.
Pay it forward to somebody that could really use it.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd help everybody in the community, I think. So.
I love giving away snakes, especially the ones I really don't want to give away. You know, then you can when you give that snake away, the person that receives it is so excited. You know.
For sure. You know, and you know, because there's people that their dream could be this, and they just, you know, they can't afford it right now. So,
Sure, of course.
I mean, and for them, that could be a game changer in what they do to it going into their future. I mean,
sure.
I mean, that might have been that kick they needed to be like, hey, man, I've got something I really can work with now. Let me do this. You know, let me save for that or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
So I know you got a YouTube, you got Instagram too. Which do you do more nowadays? Do you do?
Oh, definitely Instagram much more. Yeah, it's just, to me, it's just easier for me. It just download from my phone, and you know, I've never been one to, you know, try to get as many subscribers as I can or anything like that. So that's not important to me. And
well, I mean, you got 15,000, a little over 15,000. I mean, that ain't shabby.
No, I am very proud. That was not my intent, and I'm not trying to, you know, there's not a race, or I don't have a goal in mind. But yeah, Instagram is much easier for me, and I really like to be able to look at other people's animals, and I can go through Instagram and I can just be blown away. And
just scroll through all day.
Yeah.
Within 5 or 10 minutes, be like, dang, where'd all, you know, I mean.
Exactly. And then I can make little, you know, I can communicate with the breeder, and then they can, I like Instagram a lot.
It is a lot faster and a lot simpler, because you're taking pictures, or even maybe a couple second video of something if you want to, but you're not making a content video and then editing it, trying to edit, put it out and doing all that, you know.
Yeah. I never did that on YouTube. So, you know, I don't know how to edit. I don't know. All of my videos on YouTube are just raw, you know. And so since that was the case, it just was a easy transition for me to go from YouTube to Instagram, and I can put up photos or videos and reach out to, you know, a pretty good group of people, you know, as far as quantities go. So yeah, I think I like Instagram now.
Yeah. In fact, there's some people in our chat that are from California in our community here, and they've been going through some hard times. They lost 3 or 4 family members of COVID,
Oh,
and then like right back to back, and then they take in their foster parents are taking kids too. Well, their garage caught on fire. They had all their animals in there, and they got some out. So
that happened to me one time too.
So
they just
between
found one in the yard after 4 weeks later. It's crazy.
So what we're doing is they found one in the yard a couple weeks later.
Oh wow.
So what we're doing in Jason from Fitz Family Constrictors, we're gonna hold like a deal here to try to help them, and we get some donations to them, and
there you go.
I think that's to help them out because they're just great people,
Sure.
And they're genuine people, and for that to go through them,
right.
They still look for the positive, but they lost a lot,
Of course.
You want to help people.
Nobody was injured or anything?
No.
Oh, good.
And they were lucky too because that was the only house on that whole cul-de-sac that the garage wasn't attached to the house.
Oh.
So if it would have been
the insurance is shady, yeah.
Yeah, so
But now they're fighting with the insurance though to try to get any help because it wasn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of crazy.
But so we're gonna donate, have some animals donated. A couple guys doing like a little rack, and then we're just gonna do like if you donate like $5 to their PayPal or whatever, we'll put you in this draw, like a tier, then just to kind of help them. I think that's a good way to do it. Try to help everybody in the community when we can. So
sure, of course. Yeah,
that's,
and it is a great community.
Oh, for sure. Because when somebody's down, it seems like they're there to help pick them back up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen it many times in this community, which is really good to a lot of people. With JKR, and of course, when JT lost his house for Rip to Chip, from whatever to the people in Texas when it got, froze and everything. It's just there,
Yeah.
I think this community is one of the biggest supporters of each other when it comes to something.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys remember, but when I had some animals stolen one time a couple years ago, and
I remember that.
I put a video up on YouTube asking our community to keep their eyes and ears open for, someone that might be trying to sell some of these animals or whatever. And I had posted the video like on a Friday or a Thursday or something like that. And on that same Saturday, I was at Tinley. And because of that video that I put out that went totally viral, just
Right.
Even on Fox News and, places like that. And I went to Tinley, and I had never been to Tinley. I don't, it's way out of my realm. I'm a California guy, I don't go to Chicago for a reptile show, but I did. And I'll tell you, I couldn't walk through any aisle in that show without somebody coming up to me and say, "Hey, I'm really sorry to hear about that theft or whatever." And it was just amazing. It was super humbling for me to have so much love brought on to me because of something that had happened that was, obviously not too good. But it was, I'll tell you, it was amazing. It was just amazing.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, I get it, and I'm living that love, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember that video too. I remember when you put that out there. So
yeah,
I just I hate that people even are like that. Number one,
Yeah. Well, these people who ever took that bag had no idea what they were taking. Yeah, they only found out when they opened it up.
Yeah, but you see that I've seen that too with people at expos. They try to get your attention over here, and then I've seen people try to steal snakes, and they get caught, and that's just crazy,
I've never seen that happen.
Yeah, I think Miguel or somebody was doing a video.
I remember that situation with Miguel.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was crazy. They caught him too. But just the balls it takes to go steal from somebody like that in an open show,
Stupidity
stupidity too. But
or something.
But I can't believe that you would even think you could get away with this.
Really, right? I could go down to the store down in the corner here and steal the rose plants out in the front of the store that are there day and night, right? But it sure doesn't sound like a smart thing to do.
Well, right. Because, you know, a lot of times if you needed something that bad, somebody probably give it to you or help
Well,
you
of
out.
course.
Really, if you were that bad that you needed, I mean, not a snake, you know, because you don't. But if you needed, you know, whatever, a few dollars or whatever, because you're hungry, hey, I'll buy you something to eat or
Of
whatever,
course,
you know.
sure. Yeah.
I mean, that's just crazy, but
Yeah, and I would say
get
that
it.
most people in this community were probably that way. The
Right.
people that most people that I have met, anyway.
So you just got the Tegu. Have you ever kept any monitors?
No. No, I've just had just a Tegu. This is my second Tegu. Yeah.
Heck yeah. So you have some do you have some outdoor enclosures being in California that you put your animals in, or you just?
Nope. It's free roam.
There you go.
Yeah, my backyard here is just perfect for a Tegu. He can't get out. You know, there's no gaps underneath the fences or anything like that. So
That'd be so cool. Just let the lizard out in the back door. That'd be so cool. Just like go play for a little while.
Oh yeah, that's what I do. I just walk him out to the lawn and just put him right on the lawn. He goes to the bathroom out there. It's, you know, it's perfect. You know.
Oh yeah, that helps you not have to
Very
clean as
rarely
many
do I
cages.
ever find any feces in his cage. It's always on the lawn.
Then you did something right if you trained them to go outside.
Yeah.
Because usually with any kind of lizard or big snake, as soon as you clean it, they dirty it right up as soon as you
yeah, that's pretty typical.
You know?
Oh yeah. How many animals do you guys have?
I've only got 8 right. Well, if you count all the animals like bearded dragons and everything, frogs and all that, probably.
Yeah, I don't know how many animals I have.
16, 18, somewhere around that.
How
about
you?
I sold crap.
I had a lot of ball pythons, but
yeah, I got 8 snakes, 4 lizards, scorpions, tarantulas, fish, just all kind of stuff. Rats, mice, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Praying mantis, I just picked up, just all kinds of just odds and ends. I like a lot of different stuff.
Right.
Yeah, we just got into the Pac-Man frogs. Them things are.
Yeah, I got a bunch of frogs. I didn't even mention the frogs. I got 3 frogs.
And do they eat mice? Is that what they eat?
Yeah.
Wow. And, well, they eat all kinds of things actually.
Well, when they're younger, they eat a lot more.
Where are they indigenous from, or or whatever? Where do they come from?
It's Argentine or something, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
No, because they're technically a horned frog is what their real name is.
Okay.
But they didn't have no popularity as a horned frog, so they called it a Pac-Man frog. Everybody wanted one.
Yeah, they got such a big head, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Pac-Man, and then.
Yeah.
And there's so many different colors of them.
As well. They'll eat about anything that comes across their little path, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, roaches, anything, worms. I mean, they'll just.
Yeah, they love night crawlers, stuff like that. They really like that stuff. So, and then of course, with bearded dragons, we got 2 of them, and then leopard geckos are simple, you know. Then I got this I just got a Vietnamese centipede.
Oh, really?
And he's pretty long, 8-10 inches, but I'm not picking him up, he carries a nasty bite, dude. Huh?
Well, they have a pretty good bite.
Oh yeah, he's venomous.
Oh.
Oh, the centipede.
Yeah, I mean, not that he's going to kill you. I mean, you might, but I'm just saying that they have a nasty bite, a nasty bite. So.
No thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I would be hurting for a day, maybe. I wouldn't die from it, but I mean, it would hurt. I'm not going to get bit by it. He's cool.
You're not looking for trouble, huh?
No. They try to get me to pick him up, but I'm just not going to pick him up.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, there's a guy on, that Coyote Peterson that did that wild.
Sure.
He took a bite from one, and he said it was the worst bite he's ever had in his life from anything.
And that guy,
yeah, and he got like 20 or 25 million views on that,
Sure.
But if I did that, I'd probably get 100, and that's it, So it wouldn't be worth it,
And you might almost die from it, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I got 100
bucks,
views.
$100.
I don't think I would ever take a bite from one. I don't care how many views I got.
Yeah.
He got $100 the other night to hold the damn thing.
I said no. But I mean, We do have some
Safe.
like big cherry head centipedes here too that are really nasty in Oklahoma too that are native. So
And
like
they're indigenous to there, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I was out herping the other day and I came upon one that was probably 4 inches long and almost black, about this diameter of a pencil. And I just left it alone.
Yeah. Well,
you didn't want to reach down and pick that one up?
No, I don't want to, No,
Yeah. You were saying earlier
they got the millipedes and centipedes there,
I'm okay with non-venomous stuff. It's the venomous stuff that backs me up.
Well, I don't know if they're all venomous,
it's a little
but
touchier situation, yeah.
Yeah.
But I know they carry a good bite,
Yeah, no thanks.
But you got the millipedes and the centipedes, so they're cool. But they're super fast. You wouldn't think they're that fast, man.
Huh.
I mean, they
got all them legs. Of course, you're gonna think they're fast. Well,
yeah, but that's the difference between a centipede and a millipede. Centipede's only got one set of legs per body, where a millipede's got more. But the back end looks like the front end, so that's how they do that, and then you hit it, and then they come around and get you.
So what's the difference between a salamander and a newt? Do you guys know?
No, isn't it about the same damn thing?
I don't know.
I know a newt can live in water, right?
Well, yeah, salamanders do too.
Yeah, but I think salamanders are more out like in the mud and stuff, ain't they?
I think it's just maybe just a different offshoot of a salamander. I'm sure they're in the same family.
Okay.
I don't know.
Have the newt too. I've never been sure of actually what a newt is, other than just I always thought it was just some kind of
welcome Bubbles.
Yeah, it's
Bubbles. Welcome.
Jose says salamanders are bigger.
Okay.
Oh, well.
I mean, I know they got some pretty cool salamanders. I've seen some guys herping, and they found some really cool ones out here around Oklahoma. I mean, some beautiful ones, but I don't know much about them. Now, if Todd was still in here, he'd probably know all about them. I don't know nothing about them. So. But I know they've been finding a lot of them.
But I don't know. Technically, I don't know what the what's the difference. I can tell the difference between a mouse and a rat, but I can't tell. I don't know what differentiates a salamander versus a newt. I can tell the difference between a frog and a toad, but anyway.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's. I don't know. I just know there's a lot of cool colors, the ones I see these people finding. So
yeah,
salamanders, I think they got some that's got like spots and stuff. But I mean, I think a lot of that is when you're, a lot of these guys are so big into herping, they know all them species of everything.
I know. I know.
So
when you're into colubrids, people that are breeding colubrids, when you talk to those guys, they typically talk in scientific notation. If they're talking
people with tarantulas too.
Yeah, if you're talking about an Arizona Mountain King, you're talking about a pyro, or a Nuevo Leon king snake. You're talking about a theri, and things like that. Right. They always use the scientific, Zanadas and things like that.
Jason said Google told him salamanders have smooth skin.
Have what?
Salamanders have smooth skin.
Okay.
That's what he said. Google said.
Okay. All right, that works.
Yeah, I'm saying was people that I've noticed that too was the tarantula community. It's all scientific names. They say it's easier.
They say that it's easier to use the scientific names than it is to do all the common ones, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how it's easier. It sounds way more complicated.
I mean that's what really surprised. Like with oh god dang it, Tom Crutchfield. He knows the scientific name of every animal, and then he, just to listen to him and the knowledge he has with everything like that is crazy.
Sure.
I mean that's to know all that, that's a lot of knowledge.
Right. Yeah, I have a friend that's going to school majoring in herpetology, and I took him out herping the other day, and as we walked by this magnolia tree, he starts talking about the scientific name of the tree, and I'm thinking, man, why would you learn the scientific name of a tree? But some people their passion is so strong in so many different directions.
For sure. Yeah, it's crazy like that. Welcome, Jarome. How you doing? There's another California boy.
Oh, cool. What part of California?
I don't know. He's up there. I know he's over there by Freedom Breeder.
Oh, okay.
Or close to Freedom Breeder anyway, I know.
Yeah, I'm about 100 miles west of Freedom, northwest of Freedom Breeder.
I had some relatives that lived in Petaluma,
Oh, cool.
California.
That's nice.
Up in North Cali.
Yeah, sure.
I worked in California back in the 90s, early 90s. I was around like Azusa, Glendora, Glendale.
I'm sure they're self pictures.
Over there. So.
And where were you?
Like around Azusa, Glendora, Glendale, whatever area, around that area.
Southern California.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And I only worked there for a little bit because I traveled a lot, but it was expensive then.
Yeah.
I mean, gas, gas and stuff. I was like, this is crazy,
What are you guys paying for gas where you live now?
Nature's Balls. It's $3.30, I think, something.
Okay.
Yeah, it ain't really expensive. $2 something, I think.
No, we're at $4 out here.
Yeah, we're at $3.30, $3.40, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nature's Balls, welcome.
No, it was $2.50 back then in the 90s. But yeah, I mean, you can tell, even just, it's just a different place. But, like I tell everybody, really everything is about the same no matter where you move. Because what you make an hour, is how everything is different. You know what I mean? So,
sure.
If I'm in California, I'm making way more money per hour for my job. So
and your housing and your expenses are going to be totally different too. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So.
Yeah.
But hell yeah.
So how many people are listening right now?
Looks like 27.
That's cool. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. This would probably be a good time.
Yep. Any questions? Ask away in the chat. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how many people we probably had come in and out through the whole deal.
Sure.
So.
Oh wow! Did you read Bubbles' comment? That's crazy.
Said my brother drove a gasoline truck in the 1970s during a shortage, and the company would make him go out and dump the gasoline in the desert. Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Have you? D-Balls want to know if you got gold blush clown pieds.
No, but I'm getting closer all the time. I should have.
I'm getting closer all the time.
This year, I should have a gold blush fire pastel, super pastel Mojaves het for clown and pas het for pied. No, I don't know.
Wow.
Can I help you later? Half an hour, maybe. I can't talk right now, babe, because I am listening. Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. His wife comes in all the time and bust on him.
I had to go up earlier. She freaked out. She's in the middle of cooking dinner, and the light in the kitchen went out. So I had to go put a bulb in there real quick.
It's just how he screams like that,
Sure.
Hey, life is what life is, man. We're all at home. I mean,
yeah.
Have you done many live streams on YouTube?
Several. I mean, of my own, where I initiated it, or just was on podcasts with other people, and
either one. I didn't know if you ever done.
Yeah, I've done one live where I came out. I think it was on YouTube maybe a year or so ago. I haven't done any lives just where I initiated it, but I'm involved with some podcasts once in a while. Live.
I'll tell you, people love the lives when people go live. Just because they get to just interact with you.
Oh yeah, no, it's just like visiting at your, yeah.
Visiting. Wants to know if you do sticker swaps.
No, I don't have any stickers, and yeah, don't send me any.
Okay. don't send me that.
I have a few, but yeah, don't send me any. But thank you for
some people ain't into the stickers, you know. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
Jason said he used to hate stickers because his older siblings would always stick them to his dressers and then they never come off, so he didn't like stickers.
Yeah.
Where was that?
Thanks for Brian for doing this show.
Yeah, that was what I was.
Very kind and a great spokesperson for all of us in the game.
Yep. So there's a lot of people that are thanking you for doing this show. So.
Oh, my pleasure.
I mean, just to hear some of your, you know, opinions on things and what you're working with. I mean that means a lot to a lot of these people, you know.
There's going to be like 6 or 8 people out there trying to catch red hawks with hamsters now, though.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Maybe one. I might try it. But.
No, yeah, just let me know, and I can talk you through, walk and talk you through the process.
There'll be 8 YouTube videos up by the end of the week with that.
No.
See what Brian Gundy told me to do?
Yeah.
I learned this on YouTube. I mean,
I learned this from Brian.
I'll have fish and game at my front door tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Jason says stickers are stupid. Are stupid stickers. Don't blame the stickers. Blame your brothers. I got a whole wall of those things.
That's all. I mean, I'm really hoping that, you know, everything kind of goes back a little normal. You know, shows start opening up, and you know, for you to be able to do more of your educational shows, because I know that's a big thing, and I think that's really big what you do there with the education. I think that's a good side of things. I think, you know, if I ever just, you know, to me, you know, like owning a pet store or something like that. I mean, just the education like that, I think that's very cool. That would be, I mean, and wasn't Brian Kesko was doing some of that stuff too there for a minute?
No, man.
Yeah, he was.
Have a good night. Later, Red Dirt. Later.
He was doing some programs with a guy named Brandon, and Brandon was the owner of the business, and then he kind of hired Brian to do some things, and then I think Brandon went and moved back to like Michigan or something like that.
Right.
I think Brian did one a week or so ago. He texted me and said something that, you know, he was doing his first one of the year or something. But yeah, that'll be great if we can get back into teaching people about reptiles. That'd be great.
Yeah, I imagine that.
If you had any critters we could see.
What's that?
Derek Reptiles wanted to know if you had any critters we could see.
I don't have any. I'm in my office, and my snake room is out. You know, unless you want me to leave and then come back, but
no, it's okay.
We ain't gonna make you go out there.
Yeah,
okay. That's cool.
He did. We didn't know.
I don't have any animals in here.
Yeah, because I heard you mention earlier that you have an old building, your own building just for your reptiles.
Yeah,
which is really cool. So
yeah, it's great. I used to keep them in the garage. I used to keep them here in my office, and about 15 years ago, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to have a building built and get them out of the house.
Do you have a building for your rats too, or? Yes.
So right next to the snake building is a rat building.
Cool.
The snake room is 10 by 22 feet long, 10 feet wide, nice. 22 long. And then my rat room is like 8 by 12 or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're not breeding as many rats as you used to, mice and stuff like you were.
No. Yeah.
So it's probably a lot easier on you now.
So. Oh, yeah. No.
Now, question for you with your rats. Do you leave the male in with the female?
I leave a male with about 5 to 7 females. And then as soon as a female becomes pregnant, then I move her into her own little nursery tub. So she can raise her babies by herself. And I have found that my yield rate goes up huge because of that.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, my yield rate now is 90%, 80 to 90%. Where if I just do tub breeding and I don't separate those pregnant females, it'll probably be more like 50 or 60% yields. So it's a pretty good increase in yield. When you put that pregnant female in her own cage by herself, and so she can raise her own babies without being bothered by anyone, the death rate, if you will, goes way down.
What's on average are your females? I mean, they having pretty good litters then?
Oh yeah,
You think they
anyway, from 10 to 20, I'd say.
Right.
Probably pretty average. Some once in a while you'll get a 24 or 25 baby litter, but usually between 15 and 20.
Now, what happens if you get a young mom that eats her litter?
Thank you, Bubba.
That doesn't happen very often now. Yeah.
See, I've only had it happen like one time, and what I did is I put an older female in there with her, and then that young mom never ate them again. It's like they showed her,
Yeah, I put where my females, I put shredded newspaper in there as a nest for nesting material, so that they'll have a nice big nest to have those babies in, and they're by themselves on top of that. And
I got you.
And it just has made a huge difference in the amount of yield. Yep.
Huh. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know some people that rotate their males, and then of course I just leave them. I just got colonies, so it's. But I mean, I'm not breeding a whole bunch of it. It works out pretty good for me too, I mean, for what I got. But
I never produce enough.
Well, when you think you get enough, then you slack off, and then you're going to be catching ketchup again.
That's the thing. That's the problem. That ketchup sucks.
Yes, it can.
Marina wants to know, what size tubs do you keep your nursing females in?
I would say they're probably, I don't know, 12 quart or so. I don't know. If you go to Freedom Breeder, and they're about 17 inches long by about 5 or 6 inches wide. And
I've seen their nursing ones.
Yeah, there's a rack that's filled with, I think it's 48 tubs on it.
Right.
And that's my nursing, or my nursery rack. But it has increased my yield, I'd say 40 to 50%. It's amazing.
Well, that's cool, because I would have never thought that, but I mean, to know that.
Yeah, I mean, and I've done it all. I've been raising rats for 50 years, and this is by far the best yields I've ever had.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's for like you to say you've tried it in all the ways when I know you have. I mean, you can see the difference in them, so.
Yeah.
That got that birthing rack, that's got all the water lines and everything hidden for it and everything.
Yeah, everything is on. I have a regulator, so I'm not using gravity as a to drive the water. It's pressure from the regulator. So I just hook up the regulator to the spigot, and then the water line for both of my racks, and that takes care of everybody. I never have to worry about filling anything. I can leave for a week at a time without really having any issues at all, which is great.
On their racks, they cover their water lines too, don't they? Their water lines is hidden, so you ain't gonna worry about a chew out if something happened or anything like that.
Nope. Yeah,
I think that's important.
They've done a lot of engineering, and a lot of thought went into the building those things. Definitely.
Well, that's awesome. To me, that's what I'm saying. That's hands down.
Reese is welcome.
Right there alone, because I see so many people. Seems like, I see, chew out. Water lines broke, flooded tubs. It's like, you're losing that. I mean, it's just to the point where if you're breeding that many rats, it just makes sense to spend the money on a good rack that you're just like your snake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for years and years, I used to build my own rat racks and stuff, and but yeah, there's no comparison between whatever I've had in the past to what I have now. It's just night and day. It's just a much better product, that's for sure.
She said, "Are they taller than the mouse tubs?" I believe. Mouse tubs. She wanted to know if they were taller than the mouse tubs.
I don't know, but I've also kept mice successfully in the same tubs.
Same size.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think when Brad had a rack like that, he actually had mice, and he had ASFs and rats all, so he could keep any size in there. So yeah.
Sure, I'm sure he could. Yeah.
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 Well, you can probably adjust that a little bit too with some bedding and stuff too.
Yeah, I use compressed pine from Tractor Supply Company. And then and then when I have, if there's a pregnant female, then I'll use shredded newspaper for the nest.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, you gotta love Tractor Supply, man. They got all that stuff.
I know.
It does help, man. It does.
I mean, they're everywhere, dude. I mean, I got a bunch of them around here, so I'm always
So are you guys doing expos yet?
Yeah, we are here. They've doing a.
No. Are you personally, Chris or Justin, doing expos? Are you guys? Have you been a vendor yet?
No. I have not been a vendor.
You're gonna love that. It's so much fun.
I mean, I see where it could be a great time. I mean, to be a vendor. I'd like to. I know a few people that do it. So I mean, it seems they do it all the time. I mean, they go everywhere vending. So I mean. And they're selling animals. It seems like they're always having fun, but I mean, I've never been to that show, no. So. Well, but now if I get too many retics, when them retics start popping them babies, I might have to start vending them shows.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing more fun than an expo. It's just like a family get together,
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm glad they're coming back around here, and then of course they just had Arlington like last weekend, which is, and so, yeah, there's a lot of good ones coming up. So, and they say they're doing Tinley this year, and they got one in Schaumburg, Illinois, coming up. Us over by Tinley, and we got one next weekend. I think this weekend or next weekend, another one. So we got a bunch of like smaller shows. The Repticons ain't too big around here. They don't really carry no business, but we got some other shows that really they're small, but they bring a lot of people in, so.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So
I actually prefer the kind of the smaller shows because, it's one thing to be a ball python breeder at a show where there's 40 other.
They said Arlington was dope.
And it's nice to, when you're a ball python breeder at a show that only has 8 or 10 ball python breeders, then it's much easier,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of, I've seen a few people here lately showing some expos off, and I've seen some animals on there, man, you just don't see, so it wasn't a lot of ball python breeders, I mean, there was, like this, I don't know, kind of African hissing snake or whatever, and they had coconut crabs, and they had all kinds of stuff, dude.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, that's cool, that's stuff that you don't see,
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's pretty awesome,
Yeah.
Are you talking about the one to HillJack? That one snake you
Yeah.
up in that video was crazy.
It was crazy. It was like
I've never seen one of those before. What do you say? It was 2,200 he wanted for it?
It was like some kind of puff. It hiss and puff, and it was like
what type of animal was it?
It was a rear fang venomous.
Something puffer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something puffer.
Is he still in the chat?
No,
it almost looked like a mangrove snake or something with a big fat neck.
Interesting.
It was crazy. It was like that kind of shape. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, it's in the rear fang venomous, like hog nose.
That thing had to be what, 8 feet long or 6 feet?
Easy.
Long.
Yeah.
Was it a Crebo?
No, it wasn't a Crebo. It was like an African puffer or something.
I don't know what the hell he called it.
It blew up its neck and stuff. It was crazy looking, but it was cool though, But I mean, it was just for $2,200. It was nice though.
Wow. So Justin, what kind of chair is that you're sitting in?
It's a Darwin X or whatever. They're just
like a race car driver's seat or something like that.
Yeah, well, that's it. They're just a gaming chair. There's all kinds of different companies that make them now and stuff. Yeah, they're comfortable.
That's cool.
No, it wasn't a Puff Adder. It was something. It got a great big fat neck on that thing.
There you go. Zilla's got it.
I was gonna say, watch the video.
Puffing snake, huh? Sustus suferus, whatever.
Yep.
Oh, it's just called a puffing snake, right?
Yeah, he said it was a puffing snake.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that thing.
But the way it blow its neck up and stuff, and it looked so crazy, and I thought it was going to tag him. He goes, I think it's going to
eel head almost, even. Like,
yeah, it was
puffing
crazy.
Neck. It was crazy looking.
And how about the rest of the body? Was there kind of some color to it and pattern, or?
Not just like more solid color. It wasn't a pattern.
With like splotchy spots or something.
Yeah.
Oh, Or no, that wasn't the one he said.
Like a beauty snake or something like that, or?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it was.
His chair has a name.
And they're just. I mean, yeah, they're cool looking colubrid, but I mean, I'd never seen one, you know.
Yeah.
But it was moving. I mean, moving around so much too, you know. I mean, I thought he was going to get tagged by that thing, you know.
Wow.
I mean, it didn't even come up that one time. He goes, "Oh, I thought that was it," you know. And he goes, "Okay, we need to put this back," you know, because it wasn't,
Yeah,
you know,
it
was somebody else that was holding it. So, but it was. I mean, it was cool because I'd never seen one, you know. I mean,
Right.
Here, let me go find it. He's not going to copyright you. You're his buddy.
ain't nobody going to copyright me.
Well, that's why I said I'll go find it.
They range from yellow to green to earth tones, Dylan says, depending on the locality, as far as I know.
Excuse me.
There we go.
Yeah, look.
Wow. Oh yeah, look at that.
That thing is huge. Oh, it's at least 6 feet, 6, maybe 8. Look at this. Look at that tail.
Wow. Pretty impressive.
Right. I don't want to show too much. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm sure he won't say nothing though. It's like
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, you know,
video
stuff like that you never see, though. You know, I mean, that's what's the.
HillJack, don't
That's what I
copyright your boy.
Well, he won't.
So who are you guys having on next?
Well, I don't think we have a guest Wednesday, but Friday we have Joe,
The
who
Venom cages.
makes venom-proof cages.
Oh wow.
Joe Chandler,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, that's what he's got his own design of cages. It's really pretty cool because they got some good locking doors on them, but he's got a feed door that's real smaller.
Right.
So he trained, like with cobras and stuff, he'll open up that feed door and stick the long tongs, and he can tap them, and they know to come over there to feed instead of having to open a big door where
Sure.
they can come out. So it's really cool design because then it kind of takes that risk away from you getting bit while you're feeding.
Yeah, nobody needs that risk.
Right. So I mean, it's really cool that he come up with, you know, an idea and
Yeah.
he produced them.
You got to be different, so that helps. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to make him stand out for sure in his line of work. You know, or what he's doing.
And his cages are pretty well known. I mean, you know, like as far as like, you know, people with Brian Barczyk, they, you know, like they had, you know, people who work for him, they've got his cages. I mean, a lot of people have his cages since he's come out. I mean, he lives in Wisconsin and he bends all over. He was just down in Texas and he goes all over bending them cages. So, it's cool. So, I mean, and if you can save somebody's, you know, a chance to get, you know, put that a less risk of feeding something, that's great, you know.
Yeah, you're talking potentially life and death stuff here, you know.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
That people take lightly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you know, and that's the deal. He owns venomous stuff too.
Sure.
And I think the way that all come about is his wife said, you know, if you want to keep venomous, you need to come up with a way that you can do this without having to get hurt. And that's how he kind of designed him, and that's where so that's what's kind of made him. So, you know, I mean, it's cool.
You know, I always say this to people, but you know, when you're doing this type of hobby or passion or whatever, you know, if you're not thinking out of the box, and I love the name of his business, Always Evolving, because if you're not always evolving, then you're not moving forward, you know, and you got to think out of the box.
He was on Derek's show last night.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because this industry is growing so fast.
Yeah.
And there's so many people putting out new ideas that, you know, that's changing the way we do things. I mean, to be honest with you, you know. So, I mean, you know, which is great, you know, which is really great. So, and, you know, it is what it is, but.
Well, listen, you guys, I think I'm going to cut this short.
Hey, no, you're good. We weren't going to be on here much longer anyway, so I do appreciate you being on this long. To be honest.
It's been amazing.
And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, no, thank you for coming on here. I do appreciate it. Like I said,
it's
you know,
wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, wealth of knowledge. Somebody I've respected in this game for a long time, and just to be able to sit and talk with you was an honor. So. And
it was great meeting you guys too.
Cool. Thank you, Brian.
All right, you guys, take care. Have fun.
Yes, sir.
You too.
Bye-bye.
You missed it, Kurt Wood. You're done.
Yeah, that was a good time. Good interview.
Hell yeah. I'm getting me a hamster. I'm gonna give me some fishing line and a hamster.
Yeah.
Video coming soon. No, I'm just kidding. Having a hawk would be badass. But like he said, around here there are every damn light pole.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere around here, dude. I mean,
Yep.
red-tailed
I was
hawks are
actually
everywhere.
pissed when they tore the field down in front of me. There was bunches of them that lived in there. You'd see them swoop down in the field and grab shit, and it was like, man, it was amazing having those fuckers. But nope, they tore down all the fucking trees.
There you go. Dylan says, how about a fishing line and some sturgeon? What's up with that?
I know. We got to talk to Annette and have Annette look into when that stupid sturgeon sanctuary thing is over. It's probably over by now, though.
You can probably look on the internet, find out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's where we want to fish that we have a better chance of catching them. There's like 2 months out of the summer that it's considered a sturgeon sanctuary, and we can't go fishing there. But as soon as that's over, we can probably go.
Right. Oh yeah, that was good to have them on here.
Just need some free rolls and the John Day dance.
Dylan says, don't worry about that.
But no, it's serious, and there's always like fishing stories, right? But when you're going for sturgeon, I mean, there's like reported sturgeon, like 20 feet long that live in this shit,
Oh,
like
well, for sure.
9 feet or some shit is like the world record on a pole and reel and shit. So when you're sitting there and you're fishing and you got like a 12-foot pole and like a 150-pound line and something spools you and snaps your shit, it gives you the most amazing feeling. Like, was it like a boat? Was it a fucking yacht that just took my line, and shit? It's like, what could possibly do that, Using like braided line that's like 150-pound test and just watch it snap. Bang! And it's like, holy fuck.
Well,
you can never catch nothing ever again, and you'll still go every time. You know what I mean?
Well, it's been like that here lately.
Crazy.
They've been doing the paddlefish here lately, catching the hell out of paddlefish, and that's you're basically snagging them big monsters,
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how much
nuts.
of a fight them things put up, dude. So yeah, they're just as cool.
Yeah, it is nothing like. I mean, you could go like 100 times and never catch nothing. It's kind of one of those things. But where we're going, there's a lot better chance to catch them. But it's like it's unreal when you lynch into something. But then it sucks because that shit'll snap your line, and then you're about done unless you bring two reels, because it'll snap a couple 100 yards of freaking line because it's like 10 feet or something swimming out there and beyond land. Like.
Yeah, and that's too. You get
I'm just trying to tease the guy, but it's true. It's like when you put your pole on your foot and you start sliding in the gravel. It's
oh yeah,
amazing feeling. Amazing feeling.
You get down in them right sloughs too, down in around southern Oklahoma into Texas, and get on one of them big gar. I mean, them suckers can get really huge too, dude. Them things are a fight.
On the hawk, and I'll get you a video of sturgeon. I do want to get a video of the sturgeon for sure. I mean, especially if me and D go, damn well we're gonna film something. But it's funny because the last 2 times that I went sturgeon fishing, I brought everything. I'm sitting there, me. Well, not know me, but I talk about it all the time. I'm sitting there in my fishing chair. I got like a GoPro on my chest. I got the GoPro strapped to the deal, right? I got my phone on a tripod and shit. I'm like ready to go. It's like nothing will ever happen.
As soon
as you turn everything off, change a battery or something, bang. Then you get the hit or something, and it's like. It's almost like bad mojo to bring all this shit, to
because
everything.
because you're supposed to be out there just having a good time, not out there trying to make videos.
Yeah, but I want to make the video. That's.
Oh, I know, but that's how how it works when you set it up and trying to get that one moment that the sucker never works out. It's like, what the hell, dude?
And then I look like a dumbass out there with all this gear on and these tripods and shit, and I ain't catching nothing. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. It's all good though.
Next thing you hit your phone, you do something, your phone's falling in the mud, and you're like,
oh
fuck.
no, I'm serious. It's how they say you can watch your pole like religiously for 5 hours and nothing. As soon as you move to grab a sandwich or something, bang, it's
Boom.
done. You know, it's like boom, it's moving. It's like, you know, because usually, you know, I'm using squid and shit, and there's only one fish that's gonna eat that shit. You know, it's like so when you get a bite, you know it's gonna be from a sturgeon, depending on what you're using for bait. But you know, so it's like it's pretty intense.
Check out the Addicted Fishing channel, all local guys.
Oh, right on. We need a local go fishing. That's what pissed me off on our trip. The goddamn dam was closed because they got like a 10-foot one that lives in this goddamn freaking lake that's there at the dam. You know, fucking closed. It's an outdoor facility closed because of the coronavirus. I don't understand. I don't want to get into
still
that.
here?
You know what I'm saying?
What's up, Mr. J?
Outside facility. Fucking stupid. Anyway.
Yeah. Must be good. 50 thumbs up tonight. Thank you, guys.
On Google how I can catch a hawk, fishing line, and a hamster. Is he saying like legitly look it up or? Bro,
I don't know. I know. If you go back a little bit, he explains how to do it. I mean, to the T.
Oh, you mean for the hamster? Oh yeah, you get a cage, and he what did he call them?
He made some snares.
The snares. He said you fill it full of snares and you put a hamster in there because hamsters are use hamsters, not rats, because a rat will find a corner and he's lazy. The hamsters will stay moving. So you hook the little snares in. So and he said you drive along with the cage and your snares and your hamster. And when you see one of them fucking hawks on the pole, you drop that motherfucker right at the bottom of the pole. And then if it's a hungry bird, it'll go down and start reaching inside the cage for the hamster, and it'll get caught in the trap, in the line.
Yep.
That was exactly how he explained it.
And then you take your hawk home and you start working with it.
And then you start training it. Yeah, yeah. But he said that is exact. I'm pretty sure that's exactly how he said to do it.
But he said, now you got to realize he was, you know, he could do that because he had a falconry license.
Falconry license, yeah. Well, are you sure though? I mean, even if you have a falconry license, is that really like a legit, like licensed way on how to do it?
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure.
You know what I mean? Is that like the norm? Like, hey, if you're gonna go catch a deal, you get a hamster.
Well, I mean,
it was
I'm
so
not
funny
saying
because I asked him about the hamster. I was hamster. I was like, why a hamster? And he said, yeah, because it'll stay moving. It'll never sit down and rest. Or,
well,
like,
I don't know, dude, because I've seen like
Weird.
the people out there before, the scientists, they'll see an owl and they'll like bait it and it'll come flying.
I'll get with Annette and then we'll figure out when we can go.
You know, they'll bait it to come get something, and they'll take a big fishing net and just catch that owl in midair. You know, coming at that food. I mean, you got to catch them somehow. So
it was cool when he was talking about like the eagle shit, how people take that for granted and never look up. When we were up in the mountains here just recently, we went up to Bumping Lake or whatever, and we were right in front of standing at the river, and this damn eagle, big old bald eagle, flew right through. You know, like 6 feet above the water. It was just like the classic, you know, like picture scene or something that you would see with an eagle. And it was like, you know, it's like there's a lot of people that have never seen something like that in their lives, and they just underestimate it, you know.
Yeah, we used to have a nest of them out there.
But when you see one of them fucking birds flying in front of you, it's like, holy shit.
They're big, ain't they?
You know, big. Yeah, I know. I've seen eagles many times.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people don't realize
how big they are. Yeah, until they actually see one. Because the people that were here from Tennessee.
Yeah, I got a damn fly flying around down there. Driving me nuts.
I seen that too. I wasn't sure if it was a moth or what it was. The shit that flickered on your camera or whatever?
Yeah.
In case you missed it, I
got
the car.
I've seen it. Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier. I thought I did. I might have not said it loud enough because I was just I mumbled.
The eagles are big. Look at a sandhill crane flying over your dam.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But people just don't realize, you know, when they see eagle pictures, they see it and it's like, oh, this bird. But when you see one face to face with a 6-foot wingspan or something, you know, first wing, it's like those fuckers are impressive.
Or just seeing it standing up and see it.
Yeah, and it's like 4 foot tall or something, you know. It's like, holy fuck, they're big, big, big. But just to see it like flying, right over the middle of the river, flying right down, it was like the most classic scene. Of course, no camera. It's in my pocket, right? I wouldn't have been able to get record fast enough, though. It would have been out of the scene. It was gone.
Todd uploaded rain short. Yeah, it's raining like crazy here, Wes. Yeah, you got bad storms coming your way, buddy, over there. Your Torcon 5 tornadoes coming towards Fort Smith.
For crows.
So I know Notlu and OSMR, they got some bad storms headed towards them.
Do they?
Oh, yeah, they're like in the Torcon 5.
The corn, for the crows, we got big ravens up in the mountains. They're like twice the size, 3 times the size of crows. They're huge.
Right. Oh, yeah, they're cool as well. Them things, they can talk. Yeah, they had this goddamn, them white birds, like, I don't know, what the cockatoos or whatever, you always see, like a parrot.
Yeah.
They had a couple of them out there, and this one, if it wasn't getting no attention, it sounded like a smoke alarm, it kept going, and it drove me crazy. But if you got them out over here, and you start messing with him, talking to him, he start fucking headbanging, and I had him saying floor. I go, let the bodies hit the floor. And he started doing it. He go, oh. He was jamming. I'm like, I gotta get this on video. I'm gonna get this on video next time, because I left my phone in the car because it was just so it was raining and I was messing with them retics, giving them, bathing them and stuff. But yeah, that sucker was cool, dude. He knew all kinds of shit. He started dancing around.
We've had storms for the last few days. It's already been hailing here. Oh, yeah, they're all talking about the nasty weather.
Oh, yeah, it's raining here, but you're going to get slammed.
Save the frogs. How you doing, the frog?
But
that big frog. Man, this bitch she's done like 4 nests now. The old black widow. Oh, you can't even see her. The glare's all weird. I'll show her tomorrow. But she's made like 4 goddamn nests. I keep pulling them out. She keeps making them. The old praying mantis shed its skin too. Molted. Doing good. What happened? Did we lose the host?
No, I was reading a comment from Rachel on Instagram.
So I see that Ball Python Love's going on live when we're done at 8 o'clock, I think. Maybe it's right now. I don't know. Let me look.
Well, I think he was, it was supposed to be like.
I've seen a notification.
I think.
Well, it's supposed to be now, but they're not live yet. They're going to have Ball Python feeding YouTube. No dead air. I know. Hey, I was in there checking the dogs. Checking the dogs. Hey, we took care of the guest was here all now. See? Took care of all that.
Right. Oh, yeah. Are you going to Tulsa show this weekend? I don't know. They say it's supposed to be a pretty nice show. This one over
15 seconds.
They're having over there by the Bass Pro Shop, but I don't know if I'm going or not.
You got to go find us some pixie frogs because you talked us out of those ones for $70.
I don't think I remember seeing them around here, but I mean, I know they didn't have one at the last show because Not Living them were there and they didn't see that. They just had that Pac-Man he got, so. Yeah, I thought, yeah, whatever. I should have just.
I should have bought both of them because you weren't listening.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, you were just as lazy on as I was, so shut up.
I was like, well,
but it was your fault. It was your fault, though.
You're right. My fault for even saying anything to you.
Why? What do you mean saying anything to me? We should have bought them. You should have talked us into it. I don't know what your problem was.
Whatever.
You're not very good at that.
I do like Patty's new name. That's a pretty cool name and logo. Solo Butterfly. We got Solo Butterfly in here, and we got Bubbles Butterfly in here.
She needs to put capitals on the S and the B.
Well, maybe she doesn't want capitals.
It'll look better that way. I'm just goddamn saying.
Oh my God.
She's grown. She don't need little kid letters. We need a capital S and a capital B.
If you
I have spoken.
All these butterflies coming in the chat, Venom ain't gonna ever come in here no more.
Oh yeah, it's gonna scare him off. He's gonna think yeah. That's why he's not in here now. He come in, he's seen 2 butterflies, he's out. He's like, damn. I'm fucking out of this joint. I ain't hanging around with these guys no more.
Yeah, I've seen a crow talk too. They're crazy the way they sound. Real weird, but they're cool.
They're supposed to be like highly intelligent birds, man. It's like,
well, yeah, but it's just the way they almost sound like they're talking through your like like a human talking through their nose. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But one in Sarasota, Florida, had a bad mouth. I bet.
Checking on the dog.
Them African grades, though, they got like the biggest vocabulary of all,
Frog nuggets, frog nuggets, frog nuggets. Frog nuggets. How you doing there, bud?
What Kurt do? Patty mad?
What'd you do that for? Kurt's always doing some stupid shit. I don't know, did he?
I don't know. I think he had a sad face and he goes, "What's wrong?" So I didn't know if he said something.
Oh, that was a long time ago, fool. Long time. You way behind. Way behind.
Well, I mean.
All right. I think I'm going to go grab something to eat. It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm about out.
Yeah, I don't know if them guys are live or not, but if not, I mean.
They are.
Oh, are they? All right.
Yeah, let me put in the link.
Cool. I don't know. I didn't know if you did something wrong or not. I don't know.
What the fuck did I do now? He says, I don't know. You did something. Anyway, that's the link to Ball Python. Loving them. They're hanging out over there. There's some people already over there hanging out. So roll over there. Tell them that we sent you. Iron Animal Show Raid. I'm going to go grab something neat, go in there and say hi after a little while. I'm out.
Thanks for everybody being in here tonight. It was a good time. Appreciate it. And we will see you Wednesday or tomorrow on My Animal House has a show tomorrow. Let me promote you real quick.
And Wednesday's still open? Yeah.
So make sure you stop in to Justin's live stream tomorrow, and then Wednesday's open. And other than that, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night. Peace.